Welcome to Horror Cinema Obsession. Here, we dive deep into the chilling depths of horror cinema, from the critically acclaimed scares to the laughably ludicrous, and even the delightfully obscure. Now, let's join our hosts, Richard and Angelus, as they share their love, laughs, and sometimes sheer disbelief at the world of horror movies.
All right, welcome back to Horror Cinema Obsession. I'm your host, Richard, and here's my beautiful co-host, my scream queen, Angelus. How are you today?
Woohoo!
What?
So even pumped, man. How are you, babe?
I'm doing pretty good. I've got a bunch of energy. I'm a little concerned. You were a little half-hearted coming into it today.
Dude, it's hot as the devil's armpit out there.
Hotter than the devil's dick out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty warm, but it's not bad in here. I mean, it's a muggy 80, at least in this in our bunker down here.
It's better than outside. Every time I had to go outside into the streets, I was like melting
You're
slowly.
dying.
Yeah, my energy was just like crashed.
I'm sorry, beautiful.
Yeah, so I will not be living in any hot state anytime soon. I'll die.
We're currently living in one.
No, but this is unnormal.
Oh,
I don't love it. And next week is supposed to continue.
How's your week? Anything eventful happening?
Anything eventful? Yeah, we watched this freaking crazy ass movie.
That's the only event. Nothing good, huh? Okay.
It's just another. Whoa.
How was Cheney? I know you're out in Cheney. How's Cheney going?
It's good. We're getting there.
You're getting there. I had a pretty good week. Was it a short week for me? No, it was a full week. Yeah, it was pretty good. It was hot. I was staying out of the heat. We have good news. We looked at a new house. Potential, guys. This is big news for us. We're gonna live together. Oh my Lanta, potentially.
It's nucking fucks, man.
We're moving on up.
Moving on up
to the apartment in the sky.
Oh, that's a song?
I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah, the Jeffersons. You ever see that?
No.
Oh, it's a little older.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, I'm pretty excited about it. I battled heat exhaustion myself walking to it. And it was so hot in there. Oh my God. I was sweating bullets, man. Whew.
You know, you barely looked at it.
I took pictures mentally. I was clicking.
I saw your eyeballs go click, click, click.
Yep. But yeah, no, that was pretty exciting. Just thinking about that. We'll probably still keep our bunker, though.
Our bunker?
Yeah, that we're currently recording in. Duh.
Oh, I see.
Oh.
The swampy bunker?
Yeah, it's a little swampy, but my bedroom, oh my God.
It's a refrigerator.
Oh, dude, it feels so fucking good. That's what I've been doing, just laying in there.
All day.
Yeah.
Just
working.
letting it breathe.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's not a bad way to spend your day.
Yep, sitting there eating my mini tacos, watching Netflix. But yeah, no, you were starting to mention it. Do you want to say the movie we're covering?
The Loved Ones.
And yeah, 2009's The Loved Ones. We always start this off. Your initial thoughts on this movie?
I feel like so it was my first time watching it this week. The more I watched it, the more I liked it.
This is the first time you watched it?
Mm-hmm.
And the more you watch it, the more... How many times have you watched this?
I watched it twice.
Nice.
But the first time, it was a lot of what the fuck moments.
Yeah.
It's happening. And then the second time, I'm like, oh my God, this is brilliant.
You're seeing a little more details.
Nuts. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is the first time I've seen this. We got this. I got to give Vienna, the review corner, a shout out. She recommended this movie, suggested it even.
She kind of pushed it.
She kind of pushed it on us, like threatened us that she was going to leave the show if we didn't do this. So we did it. And by golly, I'm happy we did.
I know you kept mentioning other movies to her to see if you would change her mind.
You did.
She was like, you did.
We both did.
And she was like, no, guys.
Yeah,
The Loved Ones.
She put her feet on the ground. She was like a stump. I was not moving her on this one, man. So I'm glad we actually sat down. It was hot. We got our ices. from the corner store Maverick and sat down and watched this bad boy. I was impressed. I was entertained. I like this movie a lot.
Oh.
So having never seen this, I'm surprised because I see everything.
Yeah.
But this one was off my fucking radar, dude. It blows my mind.
I know. It's crazy. I think I mentioned that I had seen the cover for this movie like one or two other times.
Yeah.
But nobody talks about it.
I think I kind of know. Yeah, I think I kind of know why I didn't see it, though. It was 2009. I was just out of high school. Man, I wasn't watching a whole lot of movies that year. I was kind of like, yes, freedom. I was out and about, dude.
The other thing, initial thoughts on this movie when I saw the cover, just the cover, I was like, oh, it's just another girly horror movie. And then the description on it was like something about prom. And I was like, I don't want to watch a scary prom thing.
Yeah, we watched the trailer, and I typically try to avoid the trailers, but we watched the trailer. Even that didn't convince me. I was like, oh, this is going to be fucking awful.
The trailer didn't really give a lot of... I mean, it's good because it does surprise
happy it doesn't.
you.
Yeah, I'm happy it doesn't give shit away. It just looks like a fucking... It's going to be like a torture movie, which it is, but not to the extent you think it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's not at a level. It takes it a step further.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I thought, oh, it's not going to show shit. It's not going to,
Yeah, it's just going to skim over.
Yeah, but man, it delivers.
It made me turn away a couple times.
I didn't turn away, and I hate body
horror.
Yeah, body horror, but not that I hate it. I just can't stand it. I turn away. I get squirmy, but this one I watched it, and man, I enjoyed it. It was awesome.
Yeah, there was just a few couple scenes that just made me uncomfortable. And I was like, I can't look. I don't want to see it.
Yeah, I mean, in 2009, this one did it was made in Australia, right?
Yes.
We've already covered, I think, Jennifer's Body came out in 2009. So we covered the movies.
Are you noticing a trend? Vienna keeps recommending movies from the year she was born.
The spawn of Satan. Yeah, that's funny. Well, but hey, I also, if you notice, I'm kind of all over the place. I go late to mid to late 80s or 2000s.
Yeah.
If you've noticed that.
Well, it's these movies and then Vienna's.
Where do you suggest movies? What era? I feel like you're modern. You go to the moderns.
No, I don't. I like watching them, but I suggested Arachnophobia, okay? That's the only one. Every other movie
That's because you were like, oh, this motherfucker's scared of spiders.
And it was fun to watch it with you.
I know. But it's fun watching movies with me, period. I'm pretty
animated.
Yeah. Gosh, I can't help it. But no, yeah, so we covered this already, but 2009, it was the year of Avatar, the blue alien people. Again, it was the top grossing movie, and 3D technology was out, although this, thank God, didn't go 3D.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it did have a worldwide, or at least it didn't hit the States in the theaters, I don't think. Did it?
Not here.
Yeah, because Avatar, it grossed $2.8 billion. This movie, however, what was the budget on this guy? The
budget on this movie... They had a budget of $4 million, and initial.
Oh, they did. Yeah.
Initial release. What I found was the box office had $358,000.
A very modest grossing, $358,000 worldwide
for $4 million.
So it was a limited box office. But however, this movie, despite that bomb, like losing money, because this movie lost money, it got rave reviews, man. It was, everybody liked it. Fans, people who saw it, and critics like this.
Yeah, it was released at a lot of festivals.
So I wonder who made this movie. They must have pissed someone off, and they didn't do any marketing on this whatsoever. Maybe in Australia, but definitely not here.
Well, the release was also weird because it released in Australia in 2009.
Yeah.
And then like a couple years later, I think is when it started making its way around to other countries and being released. When I was doing my research, there was even an ad saying, if you want this movie to air in your local movie theater, like reach out and make some sort of arrangement for it to be shown. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe they didn't have, maybe they used their budget on that movie and they ran out of marketing money.
Do you have any location facts that you want to give? I just want to give it out to the content creators that listen to our podcast so they can do
content facts. I have a lot of content.
Hey, I'm just saying. I heard a couple of them pulled. I'm flattered of it because it's funny you brought up arachnophobia. I'm just saying. I won't name names, but they totally didn't even change. They took a quote completely out of my mouth.
Keep your mouth shut, Richard.
Keep your mouth shut. I don't mind. I'm just trying to drop those bombs for you guys so you can share it.
Oh my God.
Just show love every once in a while. Shout us out. That's all I'm saying. And we'll shout you out. We see you. We love you. Back to the movie.
Oh, here's my interesting facts about the movie.
Wait.
What?
About the whole movie, or
no,
just
the
like
budget and stuff and release.
Okay.
So released at several festivals, including the Toronto International Film Festival, Hong Kong International Film Festival, and then in America, it aired at the AFI Festival in San Francisco.
Right on.
Dallas, and then it kind of slowly made its way in. And then it came to Austin, Chicago, Houston, LA, New York, San Francisco. It had a limited release.
All the major cities.
It had a limited release in 2012. So like 3 years later.
That's why when we rented this movie, it said 2012.
Oh.
And we're like, it was fucking made in 2009.
Yeah, so that's
here in the States, it didn't get released until 2012.
And then the other, you know how we were looking at the release and it just says high definition, it doesn't say 4K or anything else. So
this movie just did not get love.
Yeah, so Paramount and Search Pictures were the distributors in the U.S.
Paramount was?
Yeah. Like you mentioned, it did receive a lot of awards, nominations for storytelling and performance, which, oh my God, the girl that played Lola, fucking amazing.
I like her.
She plays it crazy.
I mean, we'll get into her filmography, but I don't think I've seen her in anything else.
No. So in U.S., as of current, from what I found, there's still no Blu-ray release of this movie.
What the fuck? This is an outcry, guys.
It's crazy.
They're doing this movie dirty still. Oh my God. I'm be shouting from the rooftops, goddammit. This movie is fucking good.
Yeah, so it has been released in Blu-ray in UK, Japan, and again,
just not from us. What the fuck?
I don't know. And then
I wonder why.
I have a little bit about the description from here. Oh, indeed. After the movie, I don't know if this has anything to do with it. I don't think so.
Someone pissed someone off. That's what happened.
I do have a little bit that in 2013, apparently they think that it kind of inspired a murder, this movie. There was a...
Here stateside?
No, in Chester Crown Court.
Beautiful place. I love that place.
Go there all the time. Apparently, the judge described this murder that took place as sadistic and a reenactment of this film. So this guy, Gary George, was described as particularly liking this film in specific. And just what he did to the victim kind of resembled some of what was done in the movie. As far as like the beating, the stabbing, and then they found cleaning fluid in the person's eyes.
Ooh, okay.
Got a little dark. Sorry, but I just thought it was interesting that they were like, oh, it inspired. It just reminded me, Dexter, how they said there was that serial killer.
Well, there's always copycats. People take things a step further. This one, it sounds like, because people like to blame music, like to blame movies quite a bit for other people's decision making, but this guy, it sounds like he had a few screws loose.
Yeah.
He was a crazy guy. Just a goofball, it sounds like. But
we demand a Blu-ray release of the movie.
I know, man. Still, we love the work. I mean, you got one blip on the radar here, man. Like, come on.
So if you guys are interested, it is on right now on Amazon Prime. You can rent it.
You can rent it on Google. Pretty much any platform you can rent it from.
Yeah, rent it or
but
buy
it's not streaming. That's kind of the thing.
But it's totally worth it.
Yeah, definitely.
I thought it was.
Pay the fucking $5.52, whatever it was after taxes, and enjoy it. Enjoy it. You will not regret it. Yeah. This one, I will put my name on. I'll defend it.
Dang, Viana, are you listening to this?
Yep, you can write to me, guys. If you don't like this movie, you write to me at Horror Cinema Obsession, hotmail@hotmail.com. Okay, guys? I will answer back and I will rebuttal whatever the fuck you tell me because it was pretty good.
Or message him on Instagram.
Or Instagram works too. I'll defend it. But that being said,
it's not a perfect movie.
Guys, well, I enjoyed it. But that being said, I didn't like It Follows and I got fucking shit on hard. It was bad. Pretty much my throat got slit and
oh my God.
shit down my throat on this. So I'm trying to walk that back a little bit, but god damn it, it was lazy writing.
Oh my God, you're still going with the
Hey man, I am what I am. But like you said, the film wasn't for me.
Yeah.
So we're open. There's room for every movie in this podcast.
Richard is so nice.
Yes. Except It Falls. But but I digress.
You do.
Sorry, I got a lot of energy. I'm trying to combat that. We got a lot of yin and yang going right here. Sorry.
Right? Pushing it back to you.
I'm pushing the energy to you.
Cool, thanks.
How well do you want to cover the 2009 movies that came out? I know we've done it before, but
yeah, we can quickly go over them. Remind everyone what else came out 15 years ago.
So usually you go through the list. Can I go through the list?
Sure.
I went thoroughly here.
Oh, thoroughly?
So you can let me know if I missed anything. We got Paranormal Activity, The Last House on the Left, which we got to cover, by the way. Drag Me to Hell, Orphan, The Uninvited, The Collector, House of the Devil, Zombieland, Jennifer's Body, My Bloody Valentine, 3D, Haunting in Connecticut, Pandorum, Triangle, The Descent, Part Duh, and we got Antichrist, Thirst, The Unborn, Carriers, The Human Centipede, first sequence, and this one, The Loved Ones. What's up? Did I miss any movies?
Did you mention the Final Destination? That's no.
In Spirit.
In Spirit.
Yes.
Okay, moving on.
Anything else?
Friday the 13th?
Motherfucker, I did. That one's pretty good.
Friday the 13th that came out.
Yeah.
How dare you?
I know. I didn't get them all.
Freaking
My bad.
fail.
What else?
Case 39, The Fourth Kind. That's about it.
Son of a bitch. Okay.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, and we covered the budget. How do you feel about this cast?
I like this cast, man.
I mean, nobody I've heard of. I don't know if they're big in Australia, but man, a couple of these people acted their pants off.
They did.
And I thought it was really good. I was impressed with the kid that was abducted, and I was impressed with Lola, the character Lola.
Mm-hmm.
So, first person I got down here is Xavier Samuel. Brent Mitchell. He's Brent is the one
tortured.
Yeah, tortured. So I didn't recognize him whatsoever, but here's some of the filmography that I've seen. He was in Twilight Saga Eclipse.
Mm-hmm.
He played Riley Byers.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I'm not a big Twilight guy, so I don't know. Fury, Adore, September, A Few Best Men, and Spin Out. Have you seen any of these? You've seen Twilight.
I've seen Twilight.
Played a vampire or something?
Yeah.
Or a werewolf.
Riley Byers. He was in two of the Twilights. He was in Eclipse and he was in another one that was like a part 2 follow-up.
So was he a vampire or a
I don't remember. He was also in The Death and Life of Otto Bloom. He was in Bad Blood, which I don't remember him, but I did watch Bad Blood. Like that show. Blonde, The Clearing. So he's done a bit of stuff.
Okay. Well, I really liked him. I want to see him in other stuff. He was really good at this.
Oh, dude.
He was young, though, man. For this movie, he had to have been what?
He was 25.
25. Dude, I mean, he plays a pretty good teenager.
Yeah. And then we have our, what do they call her? The Queen of Horror. Robin McLeavy as Princess Lola Stone.
She's the Queen of Horror?
There was an ad that they had for the movie, and they call her the Queen of Horror.
Because that's our girl, Jamie Lee.
Well, in Australia, she's their queen. Or maybe you can call her the princess.
Yeah, the Princess of Horror.
Princess Lola.
So she plays Lola Stone, Robin McLeavy, and her filmography. So I've seen the show Hell on Wheels, but I don't recognize her. I do remember an Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. I like that movie, by the way. It's super cheesy, but man, it's fun to watch. Backtrack and this movie, The Loved Ones. So, I didn't get a whole bunch of other filmography. Did you get any more?
I just had a 48 Shades and then Romance Arc.
Is that a spinoff of 50 Shades of Grey or something?
I have no idea. They were short of 2.
Yeah.
They ran out of kinkiness.
Yeah. So, yeah, she's pretty good. So I can only imagine she does a ton of Australian work, huh?
Yeah. She didn't have a ton. Again, I think she's still pretty young.
No, she's 40-something now.
Now?
Yeah.
Oh.
43.
Oh, yeah. This came out 15 years ago. Yeah, you got to add the numbers.
15 years ago. That fucking blows my mind, dude. I was 19.
19?
Jesus.
Good Lord. You were a little child.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where the accent came from.
I could barely grow a mustache.
Oh my gosh. I was going to say something, but it might be inappropriate.
Go ahead. Let it rip.
I was going to ask if your testicles had fully dropped.
Well, they haven't currently. What's up? High and tight, baby. High and tight.
TMI.
Hey, this is an explicit podcast.
Rated R. Cover your ears.
So if you got this on speaker at your work, God, I am sorry, but I am flying high and tight, baby. So
Is
stupid.
that going to be a sticker? High and tight.
I think it will. I think it's going to be a t-shirt we're going to sell at the Spooky booth in Spokane here in the expo. High and tight.
And I'm going to be like, what is this? Listen to episode 16. We have John Brumpton as Eric, who was Lola's dad. He has a very active... So he's been active since 1989 was the earliest that I found for him.
Okay.
He was in Kids Know, The Last King of the Cross.
Romper Stomper.
He was in Life.
He was in The Hunter.
All the King's Horses.
Red Dog.
Dance to My Song.
The Well.
Pono.
Yeah, and that's all I have.
And then Tough.
And Tough.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I've seen this guy, but again, I don't recognize any of these movies.
Yeah. And then we have Victoria Thane as Holly, who was Brent's girlfriend. So they had a bit of work together she had worked together with Robin, who plays Lola. She was also in 48 Shades, Rain Shadow, which was a TV show, Horse Feathers, and then she was in Scrublands and Nowhere Boys, the Fifth Boy.
What about Caterpillar Wish, The Waiting City, Blue Healers? You recognize any of those?
No.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, I don't either. And then we have some additional characters.
We have Richard Wilson as Jamie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Brent's friend.
Yeah, and he was in, I feel like I've seen this kid and stuff, but again, I don't recognize these. The Proposition, The Loved Ones in this movie, but Santa's Apprentice and Bait 3D.
He was also in 48 Shades.
Oh, so shit. They're tied. They're all tied to that. I wonder if the director was tied to that.
And then we have Jessica McNamee as Mia, who is Jamie's date.
Whoa.
She was in Home and Away.
I recognize her in The Meg.
In The Meg. Oh, yes. The Vow.
Battle of the Sexes.
The Neighbor.
Packed to the Rafters.
She was also in Mortal Kombat.
She was in Mortal Kombat? The original one?
The one that came out in 2021.
Oh, shit. I didn't recognize her in that. That's cool. The only person I don't have on this, which is weird, I forgot to put her on, Bright Eyes.
Bright Eyes? I do have a little bit on Bright Eyes.
Well, let her rip. Let's hear it, Angelino.
Angelino. Her name is Anne Scott Pendlebury.
Ooh, Mrs. Pendlebury.
Yeah. So she was in a show called Neighbors from 1987 till 2024.
Holy shit, until she got drilled in the head.
As Hillary. I haven't watched that. And then she was in Frank and Jerry and The Light Horseman. So not a ton. But I mean, not a lot, but consistent on the show Neighbors. That's a lot of years to be on this.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Andrew Gilbert, who plays Paul, who's the cop who is Mia's father.
Oh, yeah.
He's also been active since 1989.
Dude, the year we were born.
I know. He was in The Mullet, A Will, Lucky Miles. Yep.
Dude.
When the Wind Changes, Bed of Roses, Holding the Man, Girl at the Window. He plays a lot of cops, was what I see in a lot of the roles.
He looks like he's got a cop face.
And then we have Susie Daughtery as Carla, who was Brent's mom. She has some stuff. She's been active on and off throughout. So she was in Home and Away from 1990 to 2016. So a show. Blue Healers, again, from 1994 to 2002. Queen of the Damned.
Dude, who else? I just said someone else was in Blue Healers.
I don't remember.
Weird. So there's people that have worked together. They're just tied together. Not uncommon for actors.
Yeah.
So that's just fascinating seeing how these people cross paths.
Yeah. I like them overall. I feel like they had a good chemistry. Again, like we mentioned, Brent and Lola, the two characters, Xavier and Robin, they were great together.
Yeah, no.
And then, you can't fucking just let John hang out there, Eric, the dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I see a common theme too, like we've mentioned before in previous episodes. When I don't recognize the cast, it usually turns out for the better. Like, I like it because you can't anticipate it, because some actors, what their character's going to be. They're going to be the hero, this, that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This, without knowing anybody, not knowing the director even, I am at the mercy of this movie. I don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Which it spun us for a loop a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
So I really enjoyed it. These kids acted their pants off. It was great. And it blew me out of my socks.
It blew you out of your socks.
Or my Crocs. I don't know.
That's your Crocs. You've become a Croc person lately.
I am a Croc guy. It's a lifestyle, okay?
Oh, my gosh.
It's a lifestyle worth living.
Next time, we're going to put you onto the Hey Dudes.
Oh, my God.
It's about the comfort
I'm living
life.
that, dude. It is. I'm living that Sandler lifestyle. You know what I mean? Comfy, cozy.
You're wearing your cargo shorts.
Mm-hmm.
You need more of those button-up t-shirts, Hawaiian t-shirts.
Hawaiian. I'll never go Hawaiian t-shirt, but
polos.
I'll go polos. I like a good polo. It's got to fit right though.
Yeah, the cargo shorts with pockets.
Yeah, cargo shorts are awesome. What about, so Sean Byrne is the director of this movie. Do you have any information on him?
He was the director and writer for this movie.
Director and writer?
Yeah, so he specializes in shorts. He has a master's from the Australian Film, Television, and Radio School. His first short film that he had was a production. Wait,
do you know what you're talking about?
No, I got confused. This was his first feature film.
So his short films that I have is in 2007, Advantage. And the plot of it was a short film about a young girl who was lured into a trap by an unsettling friendly man. Notable, this short helped Byrne establish his reputation in the film industry and showcase his ability to create tension and suspense, which with this plot, I've never seen it, but obviously he took ideas from that short movie and made this movie. Just kind of flipped things around a little bit. And then the other short film that I seen he did was in 2000, The Best Man, and a short film exploring the dynamics of friendship and betrayal. And this is notable as Byrne's early work, demonstrating his talent for storytelling and character development. Again, I haven't seen these short films, so I can't speak to the quality of them, but well, it got us to this movie, which he's doing something well, so he's learning.
I saw he also had a short called The Devil's Candy.
Is that a short film? That was a full featured film. That was the follow-up to The Loved Ones.
To The Loved Ones? So
it was a full-length film.
The Loved Ones was his first feature film, right? Is what I saw.
Yeah, and this is his second feature film.
Yeah.
The Devil's Candy.
So
what's the plot of it?
The Devil's Candy, the summary was that there's this struggling painter's
his family move into a house with a dark history. The artist begins to experience disturbing visions and becomes possessed by sinister forces. That sounds pretty cool.
Yes.
Sounds like Paranormal Activity on steroids.
This movie originally was given a rating of R18 plus by the Australian Classification Board.
It was well received.
Yeah, but it was appealed and replaced by an MA15 plus due to the comedic aspect mitigating some of the sadistic
of the Devil's Candy, or
no, I'm talking about the loved ones.
Oh well, no, I'm still talking about Devil's Candy. That film was well received too for its atmospheric tension and effective use of heavy metal music to enhance the horror elements.
Damn,
jumping around, dog.
I thought we were done.
Yeah, we're gonna have to let Vienna and her review corner know about the Devil's Candy. We both love heavy metal, so I think we can really rock and roll on that one.
She's shaking her head now.
Damn. I didn't even know you came in here. Holy shit.
She snuck in.
Damn. So yeah, that was Sean Byrne. I do have a little bit on style and influence of Sean. So Sean Byrne's films are characterized by their intense psychological elements, graphic visuals, and dark, often twisted narratives. He is known for creating a palpable sense of dread and discomfort, drawing audiences into the unsettling worlds he creates. Byrne often incorporates elements of rock and heavy metal music into his films, using them to heighten the emotional and psychological impact of his stories. Byrne's unique approach to horror has earned him recognition within the genre, and his films continue to be celebrated for their originality and effectiveness. His ability to blend psychological horror with visceral physical elements sets him apart from other directors in the genre. I have to agree on this, although I haven't seen any other work. This is solely off The Loved Ones.
Yeah.
Which, hell of a movie to start your full featured films.
Oh, yeah.
So I can only imagine what The Devil's Candy is. So I'm excited to see more work that comes out from this guy, because he really is super talented. At least he taps into my psyche with these movies.
Yeah. I'll be down to watch more of his stuff.
Yeah. And then I do have a little bit more on what influenced his
style or the movie?
Yeah, the movie. What influenced the movie, which I got two major ones. Let me look. I might have it on my phone.
I got 2 movies, a real life person, and another director.
Yeah, keep talking.
Oh, you want me to keep talking? I just have a little bit of like the background of the movie. I have that
okay.
Robin, who played Lola, in order to prepare for her role, she was instructed by Byrne to do a lot of research on the serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer, as well as the movie Mystery.
So he pulled a lot of Jeffrey Dahmer into that with the drilling into the head and boiling the boiling water.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Natural Born Killers, as well as the work of Quentin Tarantino.
Nice.
The movie was filmed in 4 weeks.
That's crazy.
That is freaking crazy.
So I found my notes real quick. So the movies that inspiration for this film this is my personal take on this, is I get vibes of Carrie, where she's kind of an outcast, kind of, a loser type of thing, like a quiet.
Yeah.
I also have Misery, like you were saying, he is having her watch that. So as having someone captive, like Misery does. And then I'm getting vibes of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yes.
Where they're sitting around the table. It's a crazy family doing crazy shit. Mm-hmm. Also, Wolf Creek. Have you ever watched that? I know we recommended that to someone on...
I started watching it.
Cinema Society Saturdays, which we no longer do, sorry. But So I've seen part of that. I know of it, but I've never seen it. Was it worth it? Was it good?
When I saw it, it was just more crazy killer people.
Yeah, so Wolf Creek, I've seen a little bit of People Under the Stairs. Have you ever seen that?
I have yet to see that.
That's a good one. It was made in 1991 by Wes Craven. The Audition, and then Hostel, and then I see a little element of Pretty in Pink. Like, he really ties that 80s, like, youth to this movie that I get out of this. So that's just kind of the movies that I seen, obviously, like in my own opinion, were influenced. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but that's just personally, that's my own
I did
opinion.
see that, her epic pink dress.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, it's supposed to pay homage to Carrie's pink prom dress from Carrie.
Yeah. So that's another movie I've never watched in full.
What? Carrie?
I know, I'm a piece of
classic.
shit. And I call myself a horror fan. I know of it. I've seen a lot of, I've seen the majority of the movie. I get the gist of it, but.
You gotta watch it. And its entirety.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Let's see here. Trying to look over my notes. What else do you got?
One thing that I found interesting, like I mentioned, so this is one of the things that at first I was like, I don't know, like how scary this movie is.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of the promo that they did put out there for people to see including a theatrical release, referred to Lola wanting Brent to be her prom date. Well, in Australia, where the film was made and set, there's a end of year dance for the final year of high school. So I don't know, or equivalent to being a senior in high school.
Yeah.
It's the dance there is not referred to as a prom, but it's just simply a formal or a school formal, because it's the only dance where you're required to attend.
You're required?
In formal attire. If you show up, you have to be in a formal attire. So they're saying, even though it's kind of the equivalent, but not the same thing. But they did market it as the prom day or hell or whatever.
Yeah, I mean stateside, because in the movie it shows it as the end of year whatever dance.
Yeah. Yeah, and apparently Australian formals don't have any equivalent to our stereotypical prom king or queen, even though it's a formal dance.
Oh,
it's just a dance.
So they're just taking ties from American culture.
I think
dances.
So, yeah.
Oh, fascinating.
Yeah.
I like that. I like it.
Just fun little facts. Yeah. How many plots did you write this week, Richard?
I only wrote one.
Just one?
And yeah, just one. What about you?
I have one.
Okay, that you got off Wikipedia?
Yeah, Wikipedia's my best friend.
Oh my God.
I didn't.
It's okay.
OMG.
We were busy.
I still wrote it. I sat in my thoughts for a minute and I was like, squeeze something out.
Oh my God.
I can't let Richard take this, and he's never going to let it go if I
Google it. You act like I'm just this tyrant and fucking a monster.
Help.
Oh my God. Oh my. You guys, you know what? She pushes me hard.
I push you hard?
I gotta, so I make a commercial for these every week. She wants it on her desk no later than noon on Tuesday. It fucking freaks me out. I'm like, dude, I gotta hustle on this. So as soon as I get done recording this, I gotta figure out the movie. And sometimes when she chooses, the movie doesn't come out till Monday, like The Decision. And then I gotta work all night on it after working a full day's
24/7, no breaks,
no
know, water.
Man.
Hey, at least your room has full 2 ACs in there, so you're good.
But I got a life too.
They can toss you snacks under the door.
Oh, is this what it's gonna be like when I live with you?
Yep.
Oh my God.
The corner.
Oh my God. You'll turn the AC off. You're like, you're gonna work in the heat.
Yeah, maybe it'll make you think harder, faster.
Oh my God. Oh, is this what they do to you at the audit factory?
Yeah, they sweat us out. They're leave, go back to your office.
Well, at least they're not like, dance, monkey, dance.
I do. I'm rubbing my belly and patting my head.
That's me.
Yes.
Oh my God. Do you want to take a quick break real quick?
Sure.
All right. We will be right back. Hey listeners, planning the perfect party or a more exclusive gathering? Look no further than Captive Celebrations Deluxe Party Emporium.
That's right. Whether you're hosting a glamorous event, or shall we say a one-of-a-kind get-together, Captive Celebrations has all your needs.
You're right, Angelus. First up, they do have Glittery Party Decor Pack. Turn any venue into a sparkling wonderland with our blood red streamers, eerie balloons, and glittery confetti. Perfect for setting any mood.
And don't forget their killer outfit collection. Whether it's stunning gowns, sharp tuxedos, or eerie accessories, you look drop-dead gorgeous, perfect for making a killer impression.
Planning some special activities? Captive Celebrations DIY Party Kit includes everything you need to keep your guests entertained. It comes with duct tape, zip ties, plastic tarps, and for that extra touch, some creepy dolls and eerie masks.
And for those unexpected moments when your guest tries to make an early exit, we've got you covered with our emergency control tools, reinforced strings, and extra duct tape to make sure the party keeps going.
Want to capture every moment? Our high-definition camera set is perfect for those unforgettable party pictures and, let's just say, memorable moments.
Mention Horror Cinema Obsession at checkout and receive a free set of glow-in-the-dark sticks, because every party needs that extra touch of fright.
Captive Celebrations Deluxe Party Emporium, making sure every event is hauntingly unforgettable, whether it's a night of glamour or a night of terror. Happy haunting, everyone! Captive Celebrations Deluxe Party Emporium is for entertainment purposes only. Please do not actually abduct anyone. No guests were harmed in the making of this ad. Please party responsibly. I'm just saying, Dino Nugs are a staple in American culture these days. It's a sustainable food product. I love it.
I know.
Dino Nugs,
they're
dude.
Vienna's favorite, too.
Yeah, one for Lucas, one for me.
One for you. What are your Dino Nuggets?
Two for me, half for Lucas.
He's little. He doesn't need that many. Is that going to be your fridge?
Yeah, dude. Chicken fingers, Dino Nugs, you know.
It'll be good. You'll be set.
Yep.
Perfect.
Like I was going to ask you, are you, and I'm not trying to compare, are you to the level of Maria with your cooking abilities?
What the hell are you concerned?
Well, if we're going to live together, it's a big one.
It's a big one? No, I'm not on the same level, Richard.
But you're pretty good?
You know what I do good? I bake.
You're a baker?
I'm a baker.
But we gotta learn the food, because what was the thing Maria made for breakfast? Oh my fucking God. That is the best breakfast I've ever had in my life.
Tortilla de huevo, I think it's what it's called. So an egg tortilla.
I can't pronounce it, but man,
it's
a tortilla huevo.
It's a breakfast food from Spain, from what I remember.
Oh, dude, it's a chef's kiss.
It's a chef. I know you devoured it and you were like, it was so good.
It was, and it filled me up, though,
I
dude.
was offended. You said that's the best breakfast you've had in your life.
So it was. I'm not going to lie. You are in the top 5.
Oh, okay.
So you're in, like, 4 slots.
Jesus,
but she's number 1, dude. She's number 1.
Who's in 2 and 3 and 4?
You.
No, you said I'm in the 5th slot.
No, you're in all of those slots.
Oh.
So your breakfast is rock, but, I mean, Maria, though. Oh my God. Oh yeah, Vienna, she's trying to say her grilled cheese is up there, but that's not a breakfast. That's a lunch.
But that's your favorite grilled cheese sandwich. Or
that is by far. If I eat a grilled cheese, it's definitely from Vienna. She makes the best, guys. So this family can cook. I was just wondering, Angelus, I've had your Thanksgiving dinner. You never made gravy before, and you guys were like dumbfounded that gravy exists, but guess what? Everybody scooped that shit up, dude.
I made the gravy just for you because you were
but
just
everybody ate it, dude. Everybody ate the mashed
there.
potatoes and gravy, dude. It was gone. I only got a little bit. Like, before I knew it, I was reaching down with the ladle to get more, like, on there, and it was gone. It was poof.
Well, they were like, gravy? Okay, sure, we'll eat this gravy that is here. Everything has to be eaten because Angela's cooked all day.
They loved it. Everybody loved it. They went out in for seconds on that bad boy.
Well, mashed potatoes, you know that I've made tons of mashed potatoes.
Yeah, right. Your family acted like it was like something brand new in the world.
Well, I don't make them at home, but at the restaurant I used to work, we made mashed potatoes from scratch.
I want to address this too. We're a corn tortilla family. Not flour.
Not flour.
I learned this.
Except for quesadillas. They're allowed.
Yeah, they're allowed. But corn tortilla, guys. So if you come into our household with fucking flour tortillas, you better march your ass back out to the store because we will not take it.
Richard won't take it.
You won't.
Yeah,
I got criticized. I was like, how about these flour tortillas? And you looked mortified at the store. You're like, get your white ass out in the car. I was like, oh, shit.
I was like, they're for quesadillas only, Richard.
I was like, oh, fuck. I didn't know.
Remember when we went to Mole for the first time? And you had me roll your tortillas for you.
Oh, dude.
Adorable.
I know, but it was good.
You looked at me all confused. You're like, I gotta use my fingers as a spoon and the tortilla as a scooper.
I know. Hey, I'm royalty, okay?
And I was like,
I don't like working for my
give
food.
Give it to me. I made you a tight little taco.
I think we will cook together, though. I'm excited because I make a mean pozole. So
you do. Maria says it's better than one of the restaurants.
What's up?
What's
but
up?
we'll make more. I mean, it's an easy dish.
You make really good spaghetti.
Do I?
You did.
You guys are just being nice because you didn't eat any after that. You're
yes,
like,
I did.
You do the, like, when I say something's good, I'm like, and I rub my tummy. You did exactly that. And I know that's a lie.
No, I didn't. It was good. We had it for leftovers the next day.
It was delicious. Anybody else eat it?
What's up? Maria tried it. She liked it.
It was good, huh?
Mm-hmm.
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 Chef's kiss.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I demand chicken nuggets next time, Richard.
Okay, we got sidetracked right off the bat here. And we had a long, extensive break, guys.
Yeah, freaking right.
We're in the sweat box right now, and my brow is sweating like a mofo.
Richard worked me through the break. He said,
You were on your phone. Here's what happens, guys. We sit, we hit mute, and I've mentioned this before. We hit mute, heads go down. We don't say shit. She's on her phone scrolling. I'm on my phone scrolling. And then we grunt. It's a series of grunts at each other.
An agreement.
And then the alarm goes off to start the podcast again.
Lies. I was going to go check out your refrigerated room, but you were like, no.
You were on the phone. You were looking at the friends feed. What do you guys call it?
I don't know. I can't. It's the secret name
for
the group chat.
Oh, how come I'm not a part of it?
Because you don't want to be on Facebook.
For good reason.
What's up? You're missing that on birthday plans is all I'm saying.
Hey, no love lost.
No.
I like to have a middleman with that stuff.
Oh my God, I'm your manager.
A planner. I like to have the planner.
Lord.
Yeah.
I quit.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. I don't want to be the messenger no more.
No, you won't be.
Okay. Are you going to join the group?
I get information all over the place. Like, if they truly want me to go to something, someone reaches out to me.
I tell you, I say, hey, this
I know, like, if you don't, though, Matheson will reach out. My brother's pretty good about it. If they truly do, the person planning truly wants me to go, they'll reach out to me directly.
Oh, my goodness. The princes.
Yeah, what's up? Everybody knows I'm off the grid, girl. Anyways, let's close that tab.
Sure.
Let's hear your plot.
My plot.
Your wiki plot.
My wiki plot from Angeles' brain.
Oh.
Okay, I made this shit up.
Okay, I believe you.
Okay, good. As Brent assimilates a personal loss, school comes to an end, and what is supposed to be an end-of-school celebration turns into an unforgettable night. When Brent turns down an invitation to the school dance from a seemingly nice, shy girl, potentially a participation trophy kid, true intentions are revealed, and the most extreme revenge is unleashed. With unexpected help, a psychotic spoiled girl reveals herself as the ultimate horror movie villain. Relentless, unstoppable, passionate, demented, and unhinged, who will stop at nothing to get her perfect fairy tale ending and find her prince charming. Hashtag take her to the fucking dance.
Okay, so my question is, where'd you get participation trophy?
Oh, you haven't heard of this thing?
I've heard of it, but I've never heard you.
Me? As a participant, I heard it a lot in the school circle.
Oh, okay. When did you fully grasp it and understand it? Like, oh, these people are crazy.
What do you mean?
Like participation trophies, like they're like, the kids, they don't make kids like they used to. They don't parent them like they used to.
I mean, sometimes, everybody gets
Did you get participation trophies growing up in Mexico?
Oh, hell no. I got winner trophies in Mexico and medals.
Oh, you were a champ?
I was a top student.
Whoa, that's a humble brag.
Yeah. What's up? What's up?
No, you should be proud. Awesome.
I used to get we graded on a scale from 1 to 10. It was mostly middle of the road 9s and 10s. But I told you, I got dragged out to reading competitions and speaking competitions and school.
You got dragged out. You wanted to go.
No, I got dragged out. It was a whole different world. We went on to a different school without parent permission forms. The teachers were like, "Hey, you over here. You guys are the top achievers of the class. You're gonna go to this school and participate and read this. We're doing some reading competition thing.
It's a different world. It's
a different world.
Cool.
So no, I didn't get participation, but
okay.
I mean,
I like your plot.
She seems like she gets whatever she wants.
I like your plot. Are you ready for mine?
Blow me away.
Okay. In The Loved Ones, Brent, a high schooler mourning his dad, thinks rejecting Lola's prom invite is the end of it when she asked. Little does he know, Lola's got other plans, like kidnapping him for her own twisted prom night, complete with glitter, tiaras, and torture tools that would make a hardware store proud.
Oh my God.
With her deranged dad as her sidekick, Lola's living room turns into a prom-themed horror show. Brent must navigate the bizarre and terrifying DIY prom to escape Lola's psychotic clutches. It's like Carrie meets Home Depot in the glittery nightmare.
I don't like this. I feel like you're cheating. You're getting creative with your commercials, and now you're getting too creative with your plots, Richard.
I tied the commercial into this. I was particularly proud. Carrie meets Home Depot.
I think you tailor the ad to your plot.
Maybe, dude. I'm doing both, man.
I'm doing a plot too.
You participate in the script too, which is nice.
I was trying to keep mine a little more mysterious so that the listeners
I know this one
and...
I didn't. I was just having a little more fun. Just saying it because I had fun watching it, and then I was having fun writing it. I was like, dude,
we should share the plots on Instagram and have people vote.
Dude, let's do it. Let's do it on this one. Okay. Can I write another one to make it more of a mystery? I don't want to blow it for people who've never seen it.
Nope.
Then we can't.
We can't.
Dude, I don't want to ruin it for people who've never seen it if they listen to our podcast, obviously. Also, guys, I encourage any movie review, watch it first before you listen to us, because
we're a spoiler.
We're spoiling motherfuckers. But you know what? We provide insight. And we're very delightful. It's like you're sitting in the room with us.
I always try to go out of my way and find cool facts about the movie, behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Stuff that they did to make it a little more, not just talking about the movie.
Yeah.
I want to know how shit's made, man.
I wonder if the favorite part for people, I wonder if they just tune out after the initial part of the podcast. Like once we get to the scene for scene breakdown, people just tune out.
We don't want to hear about the fucking movie.
Because we go fucking hard in the scene for scenes.
Well, I try, but don't fucking turn away, people, because I try to include little facts throughout the scenes.
She does. She is killer at it, guys. She throws these she is dealing nugs right and left.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Little tidbits, little candies.
Yep, little fivers everywhere. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So yeah, that's our plots. Guys, we're going to put it on Instagram. I'll refine mine to make it spoiler free. And we'll have you guys vote on them. She's getting more comfortable now with the criticisms. If things don't go her way, it looks like she's getting more bold or confident, at least.
Mm-hmm. We'll see.
It's refreshing.
It's refreshing.
Have you noticed I'm more outgoing too, by the way?
You are?
I'm less in my head about it. I'm like, fuck it, dude. I don't know.
You don't like it, you don't like it.
Yeah. It's just coming out there. For the most part, people respect that and it's well received. Like you get the occasional goofball who'll try to shit on your parade. But other than that, screw that person. And everybody else is cool because they love horror and we like bullshitting.
Yeah, and it's all for fun. Don't take it serious.
I know. I'm having fun every motherfucking day. I really do. I want to say I do have fun doing this with you. It's the highlight of my week. I enjoy collaborating with you throughout the week on it, talking about things, how we're going to organize things. It really is fun.
Yeah.
Doing it with your best friend. I love it.
Every Friday. Are you so excited?
I know.
It's fucking Friday.
TGI.
We're recording.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you want to get into the scene for scene breakdown or what?
Let's do it.
Oh yeah, jabroni.
The levels.
The what?
The levels.
The levels? No, it's the loved ones.
No, I said let's do it. The levels.
The loved ones.
Oh my God. Grandma's boy.
No, the loved one.
I know it's the loved ones. I was referencing Grandma's boy, damn it.
Oh, gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
We were just watching it the other day.
Were you not Grandma's there for Boy. It? No, I wasn't there, but I love Grandma's Boy.
Grandma's Boy's great.
Dude, the new house, Vienna's getting a race car bed.
And an alligator mattress. We're going to be her roommates.
Yeah, she's already referring to us as her roommates. It's like fucked up. Yeah, my roommates took away my lava lamp. God.
And turn off my TV. Happy birthday, Vienna.
She's all blushing.
This is, hey, she asked for it. This is her birthday episode.
By the way, we got to meet her boyfriend. I don't even care. She's embarrassed right now. Wheaties, dude. Wheat Thins. We met him. How was it, Angelus?
He's a very nice kid.
He was. He was outgoing. Vienna was super shy, by the way.
Dude, you guys are vibing about music?
I know. He's pretty good. He's a good guy. Good kid. Even then, they are horrible at planning things, but...
They're young. They're learning.
Yeah. It was funny. And she lost her phone in her purse. That was crazy. Anyways, shout out. If you guys listen on Spotify, go to The Excuses. Great band, great music. This kid is on the rise. They are enjoyable. Shout out. And then, hey, make sure you let them know that Horror Cinema Obsession sent you to them.
Is it The Excuses or The Excuses Official?
The Excuses on Spotify.
Okay.
Yeah, they're good kids. Anyways, back to business. I just had to shout out.
You had to embarrass her.
I did. Scene for scene, do we want to go?
Let's go.
You leave me in my own devices. I start just rambling.
Know you like went off the hooks, and I was like, whoa, pulling my rope in.
Even you were like, no.
Don't do it, man.
Don't do it, man.
Come back.
You loco.
Hey, loca. Where you been? Spilling secrets and shit.
Oh, fuck, man. Get your life together. She just... headphones down. Jesus. I gotta tape those things on.
So what happens? You let me go and break. I'm sweating. They're sliding off.
Okay. Get back to it. Jesus fucking Christ. Damn, loca.
I'm good.
Okay. So we want to open up here. Sorry, guys. This is riveting podcasting. We're losing listeners right and left.
Oh, shit.
Oh, man. They're leaving us by the thousands. Gosh.
Back.
Okay.
Hello. Is it me you're looking
for? Okay. Let's start on the opening scene, dude.
Okay, go ahead and Richard, get it started.
Okay, the opening scene, it starts with a car. It looks like it's a morning time, very early. A boy and his dad are driving in the car. We get, which I'm vibing with, the Little River Band playing on the radio. Lonesome Loser, which if you haven't heard it, by the way, pretty good song.
Of course you were freaking know the music.
You heard about the Lonesome Loser. I won't sing the rest of it. I don't want to pay the royalties. But yeah, so they're vibing, they're joking around. He's like, "Hey man, you're an old man," and the dad's like, "Man, there's nothing wrong with a melody, like not your twisted, sick, dark metal shit you're listening to or whatever." And they're just kind of laughing, joking around. They're cruising down the road. The dad, he's vibing with the music. He decides to light up a cigarette. Brent, in this situation's the boy driving. He looks at his dad. He rolls his eyes. He's like, "Dude, why?" And he's like, "Hey, man, I'm allowed to sneak a toke every once in a while." And at that point, he's distracted looking at his dad. His dad's looking down. His dad looks up. He's like, "Whoa, look out." There's a dude in the middle of the road, and you could tell he's all bloody. He has like,
cut up.
Yeah, he's all cut up and bloody, just standing there. They swerve out of the way, and you think they evade it, but then you know something bad's going to happen, and boom, they hit the tree, and unfortunately, the dad passes away.
You know what this reminded me of? This scene right here? 50 First Dates. Drew Barrymore, when she's in the car, and she also smashes into a tree.
I know, isn't that crazy?
I was like, oh my Lanta.
And it kind of reminds me of, what's another car one we just seen? I Know What You Did Last Summer. Was that one?
Yeah, but then a crash.
Oh, but they actually hit the person.
Did they hit a person?
Yeah, they ran Hookman over.
Oh, Jeepers Creepers.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He runs over
He
the
does
Jeeper.
the Matrix, too, and jumps over it. So, yeah, no, it starts with a heavy tone, I mean, in that situation. But then you get back, so it says 6 months later, and he's in high school. He's at his locker. Brent is, and then this is where you meet Jamie as well. And they're kind of bullshitting. They're like, hey, man. Jamie's like, I got your weed. Here's your weed. I'm going to sell it to you. Take it. What are your plans? He's like, you know what? Because Jamie's like, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to hang out. You should come. He's like, you know what? I'm just going to stay back, and just chill by myself. And he's like, that's weird, but whatever. And at this time, Jamie's soon to be dance partner, girlfriend, is walking by, and then Jamie gets distracted and then starts running after her, right? Right?
Yes, Jamie goes out. Yeah, he follows her around the corner. We assume that he asks her to the dance because he jumps back out all excited. And he's like, she said yes.
Yeah.
He's excited. He likes her.
And then right after that, we meet Lola. She walks up. You don't know shit about her yet. She doesn't seem like she's psycho. She seems pretty innocent.
And shy.
And she's like, hey, do you want to go to the dance with me? And he's like, oh, man. And he's being nice about it, too. So he's not even polite, a dick. Yeah. He's like, oh, man, no, I'm going to go with my girlfriend. Sorry, no. But he's pretty nice about it, letting her down easy.
A couple times.
Yeah. And then Lola is like, okay.
Yeah.
And then we meet Brent's girlfriend, right?
Holly, yes.
Yeah, Holly. And they're at school, they're talking. He's like, hey, man, someone asked me out to the dance. And he's joking around, leading her on. Like, you got to ask me questions. You got to do things for it to know who, because she's asking who asked him.
Yeah.
And he's like, you got to earn that. And it's just goofing around. So that's the theme throughout this scene, right?
Yeah.
And they're traveling. They're in the car. They end up parking somewhere. It looks like in the middle of nowhere. And they start fooling around. In this moment, they build this up, though, and I knew this was a key part, and it doesn't take a genius for this, but the razor. So they're getting down to business, a little bit of bump and grind, right? But what they're focusing on is the razor blade that he has on his necklace.
Yeah, so Lola takes off, or not Lola, but Holly takes off his shirt, and you see he's been cutting himself.
So he's clearly 6 months later, he's still
dealing with the loss of his dad.
He's got some demons for sure. He's feeling, I think at this moment, I was like, oh, he's in a depression. Like he's blaming himself for killing his dad.
Yeah, so you see the cuts, and then they zoom into, he has, like you mentioned, a necklace, and he has a razor blade hanging on it. And Holly sees the necklace, acknowledges it, but doesn't say anything. So they're kind of, just acknowledging that this is how he's dealing with his pain and his maybe guilt.
And she mentions it later, jokingly. But yeah, and at this moment, they're doing that, and then she kind of goes south.
What?
Yeah, she goes way lost. South. Yeah, down there. She took a detour. And this is the creepy, disturbing moment. And I don't know how the hell Brent doesn't see this. Lola is outside the window.
Just watching them.
And not even blinking, just staring. And she's super close. There's no way. What would you do in that situation?
Freak out.
There's no way I'd keep going.
No. Yeah, she's just watching him like a creep, and you're like, oh, there's something not right with this girl. Yeah,
dude, this is where you start getting the vibes. Obviously, like, it's a horror movie, but the vibes are all wrong with this girl. I was like, oh, man. So they get done, and they just stop the scene at that point, and then they get back on the road, and it shows Holly dropping off Brent down the block from his house, because she's asking, too. She's like, oh, and they're trying to figure out their plans for tonight. That night, like, hey, am I picking you up? I just got my license. And he had her drop him off a block away. And she's like, oh, does your mom know? And he's like, not yet, but I'm going to tell her. Hinting pretty much that it's a big deal, like driving, like inexperienced drivers. His mom has a problem with, because he was an inexperienced driver that unfortunately killing his dad in the accident. So she has a lot of trauma that she has with this.
Yeah, and then Holly's car, it has a red letter P. Do you remember that you asked me about it?
Yeah.
It was just interesting. I went down the rabbit hole on the windshields for like young drivers, like you're saying, and this is also kind of hints you that they're not a super experienced
I thought
drivers.
it was like paralyzed.
So this is also a hint, I think, in the movie, and unless you live in Australia, you really wouldn't know what the letters on the windshield stand for.
Yeah.
But this is also signaling to other drivers that you're not that experienced. So it's a real thing. So there's like this red letter, like a plastic plate, they called it.
Yeah.
So when you get your professional license during the first year, you have to have that in your car, just signaling to other drivers. Your second year of driving, you graduate to a green, I think it was. And then after 2 years, you get a full license and you don't have to display your little card letter saying that you're still a young driver.
A young driver, yeah. That's fascinating. I feel like we need that here in the States.
Yeah. I feel like a lot more people are going to have red piece on their thing.
Right? Or an S.
An S?
Stupid driver.
Oh, okay. That's a good one.
I would have like 3 S's on mine. But no, yeah. And that's a pretty cool Volkswagen too. The cars in this.
It looks nice.
Yeah. Well, these cars, they were refurbished and well kept.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was cool though. It was cool to see that car. And then you see another car. I don't know what it was, but Jamie's car later on is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he gets dropped off. He walks home. He goes inside. And that's when he talks to his mom, right?
Well, before he goes inside, he finally tells her, he's like, hey, it was Lola Stone who asked me to the dance.
And she's like, you should go with her. She can handle your,
emotionally
retarded.
Yeah. Because she tells
boyfriend.
Because before he got out of the car, she said, I love you. And he just looked at her. He couldn't say it back. So yeah, he goes inside and
they use the words emotionally retarded.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
And then
not my own words.
His mom comes in and she's like, hey, are you going to the dance? I mean, he's like, yeah, with Holly, and the mom's like, well, she doesn't have a license.
How you getting there?
Yeah, and she's like, how about an Uber? And he's like, Mom, like you can.
Yeah, but he's like, Mom, she just got her license today, and she's like, well, what about an Uber? And he's like, it's still a car, Mom. I could still die in the car.
Yeah, and then she's like, well, maybe like an Uber, like. Maybe those drivers have more experience. And then this is where someone like yelled, he's like, and I wasn't? Is that why Dad died? Like, is this what you think it happened? And
she doesn't say anything either. So you can tell she does blame him a little bit. Like, she's still emotionally working through things. I don't think she really means it, but she's in a state where like maybe she's not. Like, I don't know. She's not like really showing it, but it kind of looked like she's blaming him at that moment.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
And he's clearly blaming himself.
Yeah. And then he's pissed after this conversation, and he ends up getting up and leaving and going on a walk, and he
goes to his room, man. He's sitting there. He's listening to metal, doing his thing, a brooding teenager in his dark room with the windows blacked out.
And then?
Yeah. And then that's when he does. He goes for the walk, and his dog's following with him. And at this moment, you can see, this is where you're seeing the anger in him. He has a lot of like frustration built up.
Pulling on his necklace.
And his emotions, yeah. He's obviously emotionally like going through some shit. And you can see where he's like hurting himself because he grabs that razor and grips it really tight to where he starts bleeding in his palms.
Yeah. And then it doesn't seem like he walks very far, but he's kind of like on the outskirts of town.
It's not very far because later his mom walks up there.
Yeah, so it looks like it's some sort of park or just some foresty area.
Yeah.
There's like this big boulders and rocks, and he climbs up there.
Yeah, he's climbing, which I thought was kind of cool because the dog knew what to do. Yeah, the dog climbed its own route.
Yeah, it seems like this is Brent's spot to get away from
people,
home and stuff. So he's up there. He's almost to the top of one of the rocks. He kind of leans back, just feeling the sun, maybe feeling a little better. He almost falls down.
Well, it's almost as if he's like, that's a brief moment of like clarity, like he's stepping back. I don't know if it was like to kill himself, like he was going to drop himself off.
No, I think he slipped.
Yeah. Well, no, I think he like leaned back, like he's feeling the freeness of it. Mm-hmm. And that's when he like loses like his concentration for the minute because he's relaxed. And that's where he like jolts himself and like he's got crazy ninja grip.
Ninja grip.
And is able to grip himself, but he's hanging there.
Yeah, and at the same time, you're getting a little bit of an overview of Holly's getting ready for the dance, and then you go back to seeing his mom is also just kind of struggling with their issues together. She's smoking a cigarette, and you go back to Brent. Now he's on top of the rock, and he's smoking the devil's reefer.
Yeah.
And then you see his dog. He's kind of in the background. And it starts barking. It looks like he's barking at something or someone.
Well, so it doesn't even look. You hear him in the background. Like it shows up briefly, but then you just hear him muffled. Like you're hearing what Brent's hearing because you hear the headphones. So you're hearing the dog muffled. He's not paying attention. He just thinks his dog's being wild. Because then he lays back down and the dog lays with him. And he gets back up. And the dog's still barking, but he's still not paying attention. And then it gets quiet. And then you don't see the person come up behind him, but he gets grabbed and then they chloroform him and kidnap him.
Yeah, and right at the moment that this is happening, his mom tries to call him too.
Oh, yeah, and he does answer and she's like, Brent? And then, I don't know if she hears the struggle, but she hears it and she's like, whoa, what the hell? And she's kind of concerned because it's hours later, like it's nightfall, and he's still not there.
Well, when the guy is, coming up from behind him, there's a little bit of a struggle.
Yeah.
So the phone gets kicked off and it falls from the top of the rock that he's sitting in down to the bottom.
Right.
And you just see his
body. Well, it doesn't go to the bottom because later the cop sees it right by the peace pipe he was smoking.
At the bottom?
Mm-mm.
I thought everything
it was where he was sitting.
Okay.
Yeah. Tells Angels details.
I saw the phone fucking fall, okay?
Well, it fell from his hand, yes.
Okay, sure.
Oh my God. Do we have to go and watch this movie again? I will rent it again.
Just to this spot. Scene. No, the phone fell. No. Bam.
So, yeah, anyways, she's sitting by the window, his mom is, and it shows Brent being this is a crucial scene. It's kind of eerie. It shows Brent just being loaded up in the back of the
yellow car,
the truck. Yeah. And being hauled away essentially. And it's kind of creepy. And then at this point, the girlfriend's showing up to the house, right?
No, you see Jamie, a little bit of Jamie's interaction before we go to Holly. And then you see him, he's smoking the reefer too. He's on his way to pick up Mia, his date for the dance. And then he shows up at her parents' house and she comes out. She's ready for the dance. He's trying to be nice and shows up with flowers and even makes a joke. Because Mia gives you a little vibe that she's like, I don't know what, like just wears all black.
Right.
Like emo gothic. I don't know.
Well, you can tell she's brooding. Yeah, gothic.
And her mom comes out behind her and he makes a little joke. He's like, oh, they didn't have the flowers in black.
And him and the mom are giggling. Like, yeah.
Yeah. And then the girl, Mia's just not trying to have any of that interaction.
Yeah, Mia's pulling a Vienna. She's head down, she's arms
like,
crossed.
Let's go. And the mom's like, no way. She's like, your dad wants a picture of you guys before you go to the dance. So you see the dad come out and he's the police officer. And he's very nice.
And the dog comes out and this dog, I don't know if anybody's ever experienced, I have, where it's uncomfortable. The dog is just burying its nose in your unmentionables. And it's like, oh, back up.
You should have showered, man.
And the cop doesn't even care. The dad, he's like, oh, what do you got going down there?
Yeah. Yeah, and then the dad, he's like, all right, get together. And they just awkwardly do a little stand next to each other. And
Jamie's smiling with his arm around her, and the girl's just like totally
Which I was like,
emotionless.
Yeah, she didn't want that.
She's checked out.
Yeah, he's like, all right, reaching around. I'm like, dude, keep your hands down.
And then, so they get in the car and he makes a comment that it was weed in his pants.
Oh,
that's why the dog was going hard. Because she asked, doesn't she? She's like, man, my dog was going hard.
And then you get a flash of Carla's out, like you mentioned, Brent's mom looking for him.
She walks to his place, so she knows
exactly
this is
the place,
and does not see him. She's concerned and gets back.
Yeah, she goes back home, and right as she's showing up, Holly shows up too to pick him up for the dance.
And she's like, "Have you seen Brent?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "No, I'm here to pick him up." So they both are concerned, and they're talking, and then all of a sudden you hear this whimper, and it's the poor dog. What's the dog's name?
I didn't catch his name.
God, I forgot. They say it.
But before the dog shows up, like Holly calls Brent's phone, and it goes directly to voicemail.
Yeah.
So his phone's down.
But this immediately when the dog gets there, whimpering, it's obviously like had a devastating blow. It's injured. So they call the cops, and then we find out that it is Mia's dad. Well, we don't know it's stabbed yet, but
she says on the call.
Oh yeah, I guess. And then we find out that it's Mia's dad that they're calling, and he's the cop, the local cop.
And he says, he's like, well, I think Brent just ran away. It sounds like it's not the first time that he's done this before.
Yeah, he'll turn up. He'll be back.
And then you also get a look at that yellow car that took Brent.
Yeah.
Pull into a restaurant called Hot Wings.
Does it?
Mm-hmm.
And it also picks up a possum.
Yeah. And then, so Holly is taking action. She grabs the dog, throws it in her car, and she's driving the dog somewhere. A vet, a hospital, something. Vet. And
the dog takes its last breath, which, man, this was devastating. That poor dog. But a great actor, because the dog just laid there. It was awesome. And so she knows it's kind of the end. So she drives back, right? To the house.
It doesn't show her driving.
But she drives back to the house, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. I didn't see this happen, but yes, it did. She took it to a nice cemetery.
So what I like about this movie, too, and I didn't get it at first, Jamie and Mia's part in this movie, I'm like, what the fuck? This is useless. Why are we seeing them going to the dance? Because the whole movie, and it's a spoiler, you're like, oh, at some point they're going to play a major part in this movie. And they do. But it's not super clear at first. It took the second time of watching this movie to understand that.
To fill out what they're doing, what their rule is.
And for the most part, at this point, it's showing you the blend of normalcy. So this is the normalcy of the movie. I thought it was, this director's just filling. Because without these guys, this movie's really short.
Yeah.
But with it, it's showing a blend or a contrast. So they're the normalcy of kids, like going to the dance, doing the dance thing, and then it bounces back and forth. It does it really well. It goes to the trauma and with the fucking shit going down, but then it goes back to them. And it adds a little bit of humor. Yeah, it adds a little bit of humor, adds that kid element, like the dance. It's showing everything that Brent should have been doing. Yeah. But at this point, we do see him, right? They're in the car going hard at this moment, right? Like she's drinking hard. Is this the scene?
Not quite yet. But you see him on and off up to now driving to this dance. And then
smoking weed and doing stuff.
You see, so there's a car that approaches a property, a house. And this is where you meet Lola again. For the second time. She comes out and she's like excited, and
this is where you see Lola and her dad's face for the first time when they open the trunk, right?
Yeah, so he opens the trunk and she's excited and she's like, oh my god, he looks dead. And you're like, what the hell? Because you see
she's freaked out. She's like, is he dead?
Yeah, and he's like, no, it's fine. And then he reaches into the trunk and you see that it's Brent that they have in there looking for the heartbeats to see that he's still alive.
She puts her head to the heart, or he puts his head to the heartbeat. He's like, oh, it's there. And then it's very faint. And then she does. And then she's like, oh, heartbeat. Like
excited.
You can this is now where you're really seeing the super crazy in her.
And you get a little introduction to Lola, which I thought was it's very
more
eerie.
Of an introduction, yes.
And you see kind of who she is. Like you get a glance of
a little more of her unhinged.
Of her bedroom. And something that I noticed, she has a lot of hints of pink and these weird dolls all over the house. And then she has it was
showing that initially, right? When we see her in a bedroom, it shows a bunch of her Barbies in like weird positions, like sexual positions, half clothed or clothing that's like she clearly made like fishnet and stuff. It's kind of weird.
And then she has posters on her wall or like pictures, but they're pictures of men, but all of them have their head torn off of the picture.
Muscular
so it's just
men.
Like torso and then the rest of the body, but none of them have faces or heads.
Yeah.
And she has this tape around in her bedroom.
Yeah, and then do you want to sing the song?
You can sing it.
No, you can.
I'm gonna. Am I not pretty? I know. And then I remember
For you, am I outspoken?
this fucking song throughout the entire movie, and then after you're like, ooh, it's catchy.
Dude, it was stuck in my head. What was funny was Vienna. She's like, oh, this song's terrible. Man, terrible choice. And then all of a sudden she was singing it for 2 days straight.
The song's playing, and then you see Lola grab a photo. It looks like a homemade photo album. What's the name?
She made it. Yeah, her little photo album that she put together, a scrapbook.
She puts a picture of Brent in it, and she draws like a big red dot on his forehead, and then a heart around it. It's like, is she in love with him? Is he the target?
Obsessed.
Like,
she's
what the hell's
obsessed.
going on? And then in comes her dad, Eric.
And initially, that's what I thought too. It was like, oh man, this poor kid. Yeah. And your dad does show up, right?
With the bag.
He has it behind him, like, ooh, I got a surprise for you. And then he like busts it out and it's a bag. She grabs it. She's like, oh, and she opens it. And first it's 2 heels and she's stoked. She's like, oh, Dad, you shouldn't have. Mm-hmm. And then she pulls out the dress and she's like, oh my God. And he's like, oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I was going to walk away. But she's like, wait, I want you to see me with it on. And then
he likes it.
And this is the weirdest shit, dude. This made me cringe because then she starts like taking her pants off and it slowly shows her taking her pants off and shows her in her underwear. And her dad's just nervously looking like, oh, I shouldn't be looking at this. But you can tell it's creepy as fuck. And he's just like sizing her up, looking her up and down.
And you're like, what the fuck is happening right now?
And this was cringe, dude. And then she puts the dress on and I thought he was going to zip her up. But she gets it.
Yeah, and he's like, pretty as a picture. I was like, don't look at her like that.
I know. Totally weird vibes. And this isn't the last time you're going to see that either.
Oh, I know. Yeah. And then you get introduced to everyone else who's in this household. You go to the dining area, like you're saying. It reminded you of Texas.
So, yeah. And this house, is it a mobile home or is it a
I don't know.
I can't tell. It looks like it's very small and very old, not taken care of. Mm-hmm. And which is weird because his truck says handyman. You'd think he'd be handyman in his house, but whatever.
He did the basement.
Yeah, and but then you see the disco ball. What do you call that? I just call him disco ball.
That's what I've called him.
And it's just kind of going around and it's the party theme. And now you're seeing Brent sitting in that chair, right?
And a tuxedo, which he was not wearing when he was last seen.
So someone changed him.
Without his permission. You can tell that he's tied to this chair. He's sitting on a chair. He's kind of out of it. His arms are behind him.
He hasn't come to yet, but he's about to.
And then at the table are sitting Eric, Lola, and we get introduced to a new character, Bright Eyes.
Bright Eyes, dude. Oh my God. And this girl, you can tell. So I initially, right off the bat, I'm like, oh, this lady got lobotomized because she had a big old scar on her forehead and they put a little like diamond on there, like a fake diamond on her forehead.
She is not there.
And she's zoning out, dude. She got Dahmered, bro, hard.
She got Dahmered.
But the thing is, I can't tell in this movie because it seems like she does have her thoughts and everything because she's not very happy either. You can't see it on her face, but you can tell she's not into things. Yeah, exactly.
Her bright eye. This poor lady.
And it's a weird dynamic because
and they have
the
her
dad
dressed up too in a dress.
So it doesn't really hit on how Bright Eyes came to be, but she is Lola's biological mom. And you see the tension between the two. Lola does not like her. And there's a dynamic because her dad loves Bright Eyes. You can tell he is enamored with her. And Lola feeds off of that. She's jealous.
She is. She's territorial of her dad.
It's fucking weird.
Well,
but then she's like, who's prettier, me or Bright Eyes? And he's like, well, you both are very beautiful. And clearly he is holding Bright Eyes captive. Right?
Yeah, but before we get there, Eric hands Lola a small bottle of bleach and a needle.
You pointed this out initially. I didn't realize that was bleach. And yeah, so they pull that out, and I'm like, what the fuck are they doing with this? And then the syringe, well, the dad, what's the dad's name?
Eric
And Lola. Eric grabs him, and Lola takes that needle, and it's blue, and it's the bleach in there, and they inject it into his throat, his vocal cords. So in the movie, it doesn't specify, but they pretty much fried his vocal cords so he couldn't scream or talk.
So apparently this scene right here
it was intense.
It was inspired by another serial killer and torturer, Robert Berdella, who would do the same thing to a number of victims for the same reason, so that they wouldn't talk.
Yeah, and so bleach, and I looked into this.
Richard's Google history is going off the fucking hook right now.
I know, dude. I'm going to be on the FBI watch list.
Like, why is this fucking asshole?
So, but no, bleach is very corrosive from what I read, and unfortunately, Brent will never get his voice back. I know it's fake, but if you did this in real life, you would not get your voice back, and it could potentially kill you. The amount they put in his throat would kill you, potentially, but it's very corrosive, so he would not be able to talk ever again.
Yeah, and so essentially...
And be very sick.
Brent only has 27 minutes of dialogue in this entire movie.
Then he has a weird, creepy scream. He's like... The whole movie, yeah, which you are going to make sounds, right? So, and he gets tortured throughout this fucking movie, and he makes those sounds, and it is so creepy and intense.
Yeah, so and then Lola and Eric are getting a kick out of this. Out of injecting him, because you can tell he's in pain from them.
And they're like, we can't hear you. We can't. Taunting him.
And then she goes and sits on his lap, and she's like, Daddy, take a picture.
Yeah.
And he grabs a Polaroid camera, and he takes the picture. And
what did they say, though? He's like, say something. Like,
I can't remember. She said that it was too long for a picture, so she was like, just say happy or something like that.
Yeah.
And then the dad suggests, he's like, how about another picture? We get bright eyes
her
on
mom,
the picture.
And Lola clearly is irritated.
Oh my gosh.
She's like, oh my God. And then so Eric puts bright eyes on Brent.
Sits on her lap.
And then Lola grabs Bright Eye's hair, and at the moment when they're like cheese or whatever they say happy, she pulls the hair, and then Bright Eyes screams because her vocal cords have been ruptured or bleached, and she lets a scream out, and then Bright Eyes is like, Eric's like, oh, calm down, it was just a flash.
But he doesn't. Yeah, she reaches behind Brent, so Eric never
Lola's
saw this.
an evil bitch, man.
She fucking is. And then
would you say she's like the darkest villain we've seen so far?
Oh, females, yes.
I think altogether, man, she holds her own against the Voorheeses and the Jeepers Creeper.
I'm telling you, man, she's right
there with Chucky, man.
And then you go to see a little bit of normalcy, and then you see
Jamie and me
card drinking,
listening to punk or metal, drinking, hitting that fucking schnapps super hard.
Yeah.
And then they're smoking and drinking before they get in there, right?
Yeah, and then you go back to the Lola's residence, and then this is the one scene where they added a little bit of comedic. So they're all having dinner, they're eating chicken.
Don't we see Holly? Because she becomes more worried about Brent's disappearance and informs the mother to contact the police. And then Mia's dad does a search, right? He goes down there, and we don't see him yet go to where Brent was abducted yet, but we see him show up.
Not yet. So it's after this whole chicken scene.
Oh, yeah. But this chicken scene's intense. How'd you feel about it?
It was fucking gnarly.
I was creeped out. One, I was fascinated, and I don't know why I was, that they have KFC in Australia.
It's not KFC.
Finger licking good?
No, that was a joke on the thing. So I told you, he stopped at this restaurant. It's called Hot Wings.
I know, but the reference is finger licking good.
To KFC.
Yeah.
It was funny. But I don't know if it's showing that maybe they don't have the means of money to afford KFC, so they can afford this hot wings.
Or wherever they live, it's rural. But anyways, Lola, she shoves the chicken into Bright Eyes' face first.
Well, first she's flirting with her dad over this wishbone.
Oh, and I don't get this. So you'll have to explain the concept of the wishbone. I've seen this in movies. I've never done this before. I know the concept, I guess. I don't know. You grab both sides.
Yeah, and then you pull on it. And I think whoever ends up with the longer side of the wishbone, like while you're pulling it, you make a wish.
Yeah.
And then it breaks, and whoever ends up with the longer stick, your wish will come true.
So they both were like, Lola's pissed because her dad got it.
The bigger piece.
And she's like, well, I wished for you. And then the dad's like, well, I wish for you too.
Well, no, he wins, and she looks, he's like, well, my wish was for you anyways.
Yes.
And she's like being polite back, and she's like, well, I wish for you too, but you can tell she was not happy. This is what I'm saying. She's a fucking brat.
Oh, yeah. Well, clearly she's like spoiled in a weird psycho way.
And then this is where she starts making comparisons to Bright Eyes, asking her dad, like, who looks prettier? And Eric is awkwardly the dad. He's like,
both are.
Yeah. And she's like, well, she's not eating. And then just abruptly goes and shoves a piece of chicken and like up to her face.
Yeah, she's like, oh, you better eat because
so you won't get too skinny.
And dad will leave your ass.
Yeah, he won't love you and he won't like you anymore.
And then just shoves it in her face and you hear it. And then she's like, oh, have a drink. And this is even more assaulting on me than anything. They're drinking milk. I don't know why.
It's a cultural thing.
It is disgusting. A milk with dinner. I know people do it. I'm not a big milk drinker anyways, but they're drinking milk. But also another thing that made me my sensories go wild was when she shoved the drink into Bright Eye's face. You hear it hit her teeth, the glass hit her teeth. Yeah. That was so jarring to me. It made me feel so fucking, I don't know. It made me cringe.
You didn't like it?
No, I did not like that whatsoever. And then she pours it all over her.
Yeah.
Just humiliating her.
Yeah, she's an asshole.
Yeah.
And then she turns to Brent.
And she's like, ooh, is it finger looking good?
And she's like, what are you looking at? And then
and Brent is just fucking staring her down. He's like, I fucking hate you. Like, you can tell he's just pissed off. He's not scared. He's pissed.
He goes, what I thought was funny is this fucking asshole in the middle of this. She goes to feed him and does the airplane and starts doing the sound and just like pilots the fucking chicken into his face. And then she starts doing those KFC references over and over again. And she keeps shoving it in his face.
Finger licking good.
And he's not answering. So Eric.
And he's not opening his mouth.
Yeah, and then Eric goes and gets a hammer.
Yeah.
And sets it on the table. And Lola asks Brent again, is it finger licking good? And then Eric like slams the hammer on the table to get a reaction out of Brent. Like, dude, if you're not fucking telling my kid that it's finger licking good, I'm gonna fucking smash you.
And he nods. And then she's like, oh, throws the chicken down. And then she's like, oh, then lick my finger.
Yeah. She says, well, she asks him to show him.
Yeah.
And then fucking starts shoving her fucking finger in his mouth.
Yeah, and then he's smart because you can tell he just wants to fucking bite her fucking finger off, and he doesn't do it.
He says instead of that he mumbles that he needs to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, well, he can't talk, and she's like, "What? And then he like you make out bathroom."
Yeah.
Right?
So she grabs her glass of milk.
Well, grabs his glass of milk, chugs it, and then she's like, okay, I'll let you go to the bathroom, unzips his pants, and
Eric is watching this all happen. How uncomfortable.
And she makes a comment too.
Yeah.
But first she's like, okay, pee in this cup.
And he's not peeing. He's under fucking pressure of performing.
Well, and obviously he was trying to go to the bathroom to escape.
She's like, were you telling Porky Pie?
And that must be lies in Australia. Yeah. Porky Pies. What's slang for lies in Mexico?
There's a lot of slang for lies.
Well, what's the most popular one? Circa 1995.
I would know. That's very specific. Me estás toreando.
And what is that?
Are you bullying me around?
Bullying me around. I love it. Around. Okay. Anyways, we go back, and now Eric grabs, she's like, okay, well, if you don't pee in 10 seconds, my dad's gonna nail it to the chair. Referencing his
pee-pee.
Yeah. His
and
unmentionable.
Like, I'll kill your dog with this hammer.
And that too.
Right there, he's look.
Oh, Brent has a look of, I'm gonna fucking kill you look. During all this, he's captive, which I was kind of stoked on. I'm like, good for you, man. Like, you're not giving in to these motherfuckers.
No, you can, yeah.
He has an amount of rage in him that's getting him through this.
And then Lola starts counting to 10. And
he is a little bit, he's sweating it. He's like, fuck, I gotta fucking piss. And he's trying. You can kind of hear him.
And Eric is there with a fucking rusty ass nail and the hammer just waiting. And
they get to like, she gets to the count of 8. And then all of a sudden you start hearing a tinkle like into the cup, right?
And then this is where it gets like weird and uncomfortable because she says, oh, it's crying. I better kiss it better.
I know. That comment is so weird.
And Eric, to me, it looked like he got excited. Like he wanted to see this
he
happen.
had a smirk and it was weird because he was watching the whole time. And as she's doing that, he's looking and then it pans to his face watching it.
Yeah, and then she immediately backtraces and she's like, maybe I'll bite it so Holly won't kiss it again because she's not making out of the car.
Bitch won't kiss it again. And then this is where the Texas Chainsaw influence came because all this weird shit going on is super intense. So I feel like Sean Byrne got this from Texas Chainsaw, these moments. This like
cringe,
shot.
Yeah.
Yes.
All this.
Which is great. He played his hand beautifully with that.
Yeah, he did.
Because even you were cringe. I was like, oh, because we watched it together and I was like, oh, what the fuck? And you were like, oh, hell no.
I was like, every fucking scene that was coming up, I was like, Vienna, what are you making us watch?
Yeah, I'm like, we both did. We're like, Vienna, what the fuck? What kind of movie you watch here? And we made her like close her eyes, like turn away.
She's like, I've never seen this before. I mean, she heard it from the grapevine somewhere too. So
yeah,
it was the first for all of us.
Interwebs, Jesus.
And then this is where all of Brent's rage kicks in, and he like lifts his feet up and then kicks Lola in the chest, and she falls back.
Yeah. So
and then he quickly gets up
because what was she doing?
She was standing in front of him.
Oh, yeah.
With the peeing and everything.
Yeah, and kicks her, pretty hard.
He kicked her back, so she fell on the table and, like, everything. Shit went down.
Because I thought he was cutting the rope off. He wasn't. He was just untying himself.
Yeah. And then, he got up quickly. He, like, undid his hands, and then with his feet still bound together, he started hopping out of the house.
Because fucking Eric's an idiot. He's like, Lola, are you okay? And is, like, looking at her, and he hops out.
Yeah, he ran up
and
there.
cuts, and he gets the footing cut off, and he's under the car, and Eric's walking out there kind of looking all over the place, turns the headlights on in the car, and he's underneath it. And then that's when Eric gets into the car
to go look for him. He was expecting him to have
gone rolls out
away.
into the yard, and Eric sees him, smiles, is like, "Oh, got you now, motherfucker." And this is where he gets up. Now, I know to keep the story going, he's not going to leave. He could have easily jumped that fence.
Yeah.
And then instead of doing that, he runs up a tree like a cat or an animal. And Eric, the dumbass, runs into the tree with his car. And he's pissed. He's looking at it. He's like, fuck. So he's up there. Even then, in this tree, he could have easily jumped out into like the other side of that fence.
Yeah.
And got away.
One thing that we mentioned, I don't know they didn't have any, like, besides the knives and the needle, they didn't have any, like, guns or anything. So he could have made a run for it, and they wouldn't have been a little bit harder to catch up to him.
I don't know. For survival, you would think he would just get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, and then they find him, and then Lola comes out with a flashlight, and she said, I put bright eyes in the room. We're good. Let's look for him. And she's flashing the tree around to see where she can spot him, and she's like, there he is. So they're both grabbing rocks.
And he's like, keep an eye on him.
And they stone him out of the fucking tree.
Yeah, and they're laughing, and she lets out that creepy ass laugh, like, like a psycho. And then she is fucking got a Randy Johnson fucking arm, dude, throwing these things at 105 miles an hour, pegging him. And fucking, he gets hit like 3 times, and then he finally falls out of the tree, hits the car, and then lands on the ground. Yeah. Unconscious. He's knocked out.
So back to the fucking chair he goes. But this time, to make sure he doesn't run away again, Eric takes off his shoes.
This was intense.
He grabs like small like steak knives.
Yeah.
And he fucking hammers those knives into his feet to the ground on the chair.
So the first one, and this wakes Brent up. He lets out that fucking that scream.
Screech.
Yeah, that screech. And Lola's like, oh, okay, and sits on his lap and stares him in the eyes.
Eric kind of no-shows her to go and like pin him down, and yeah, she just pipes on.
And then Eric's like, you don't hit girls.
Yeah,
that's not okay. And then he hammers again, and Lola's like, oh, that's right, cry for me, cry. And fucking Brent is still, like I mentioned before, his anger has taken over, and he will not give her the satisfaction. He does not cry. He just stares her in the eyes, fucking just biting his lip.
I thought he was gonna cry, and when she started saying that's right, cry, he
doubled down. He's like, fuck this shit.
He was just staring straight into her soul, every hammer that was going down into his feet.
He was like, his mindset was like, what I got out of it was like, there's nothing you can do to me that is worse than anything. Like, the pain he was already feeling from the loss of his dad is kind of what I was getting out of that.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder, like, who the hell's crazier? Him for, like...
Well, yeah, so they get the first knife in, and then they go for the second foot, and my God. It breezes through that one a little more, but he is now completely, like, tied to he's staked down to the floor. That's fucking insane.
Yeah, and then we get a little break from this.
A reprieve.
And then you see Paul, who's the cop, who's out looking around for Brent. So he goes to the same spot, those rocks. So again, this must be his spot. And he finds his phone, and then it looks like a music player. And then you see a little bit of interaction between Holly and Carla, because Holly's still at Carla's house. And then Paul shows up with a little Ziploc bag, and he has all the stuff that he found out there.
Right.
To give it to them.
Yeah, and he's concerned, but he doesn't know what to think.
He doesn't say much, yeah.
But he's not trying to freak them out either, but he does show them, and they're like, hey, here's his stuff. But to be positive, he's like, hey, he'll turn up. He's done this before. Again, he will turn up.
Yeah, and then...
we got a search crew come in. They'll be here first thing in the morning.
And then you go back to seeing more of Lola's The Origin story. And they're sitting around. Eric and Lola are sitting next to Brent. They have him in the middle.
In between Brent.
And
going through her scrapbook.
Her photo album. Yeah, her scrapbook. And there's it starts off with baby pictures of Lola. And then you start seeing the trend of it's Lola at different ages with boys close in age to where she is in each picture.
The first one you see of this with the boy sitting in the chair, and it was disturbing. It looked like they had to have been maybe 4 or 5 years old. And she's smiling and fucking being a weirdo, and this poor kid is just looking. Thank God it doesn't show like a tortured little kid, but it shows a little kid sitting in a chair looking fucking depressed.
Well, the other thing is, along with the pictures, she also had a poster, and it was a missing kids poster, and it had the same picture of this kid. And she giggled, and she's like, he wet himself.
Yeah, and it's a little fucking kid, dude.
Yeah.
Of course he did. You're torturing him.
Yeah, and then there was another picture, and it showed just like a torso, and it showed a heart carved into it with it was cut.
Yeah, with LS, the initials, her initials.
Lola Stone. They're her fucking property. And then there's another picture. And this is where you kind of start putting pieces together. And there's a poster that says Cops Missing Kid, Timmy Valentine. And
Timmy Valentine. So
Lola says that's the one that got away.
Yeah, this is the one that got away, and she's a little pissed. So this is a ritual. She's a ritual killer. They both are serial killers, because it must be the end of year dance is when they do this, because they have one big dance at the end of the year, formal dance. This is when they do it.
And you put the pictures together.
It's fucked up.
That when the movie started and Brent almost hit that kid that was on the road, it's the same picture as that she has in this photo album.
Timmy Valentine, and Brent puts it together because he's not looking at it.
He wasn't at first, and then he saw this picture.
And then, he looked down, and then he starts putting it together. He's like, oh, shit, that's the kid I seen.
Yeah, and then Lola says, that's the only one that has gotten away.
Yeah.
And then she says, it's okay. He's probably dead by now, so no one has heard from him. Yeah. And then the very last picture on the photo album is a picture of Brent.
Yeah, with the red target on his forehead.
And then she like starts telling her dad that she's ready to draw again. And they take off Brent's shirt. And she has a fucking fork.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You don't see it when she actually does it, but then the camera backs out. And
yeah, and then you see him laying there. He's like sweating. He just went through hell. She etched this in with a fork, the heart with an arrow with LS going through, and he's bleeding. And to top it off, these sick motherfuckers, the dad starts throwing salt on the wound.
Yeah.
And it hurts. He's like, he lets out another screech.
And she says that she's like, it's supposed to hurt. And he's just pushing through the fucking pain.
Yeah. And she's like, no, give it to me.
And they start their little chant again.
Yeah. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. And then all of a sudden, she takes all the salt and dumps it all over his chest. And this makes him kind of like now lose hope a little bit. Like he like, not relax, but he, you know what I mean? He's not tense. He just like passes out almost.
Yeah.
From the pain.
And then you see Holly again, and she's still hanging around Carla's house, and she goes into Brent's room and finds like a small little bouquet of flowers for the dance, I'm assuming, and a card. And she opens the card and it says, I love you. So he was going to say it back.
Yeah.
Since he couldn't say it in person.
So she's even more kind of bent out of shape. She ends up going home.
And then you also see a little bit of Jamie and Mia again.
At the dance.
Yeah, they're going into the dance. And Jamie helps Mia out of the car. And she's so drunk. She's stumbling.
And you can kind of see she's a little bit off. Like, she's not all the way there. She's going through some shit. Because now they're in the dance too, right?
Almost. It goes back to Lola's house. And Eric is announcing this year's Queen of the Dance.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like flipping an imaginary card with his hands.
Yeah, Lola Stone. And she's like,
she's
all
such a great
excited.
actress. Yeah, she's like acting surprised.
Oh my God. Me, really? And then she gets a paper mache hat.
Yeah, and then she has like one of those whistle toys, and she's yelling at Brian, and she's like, blow your whistle.
Well, she blows it. She's like, oh my God. And then Eric, her dad, blows it, and then she's like, blow your whistle to Brent, and then Brent's like, no. She's like, do it. And then finally he lets out a little
yeah, because Eric, again, he's just fucking waving this hammer around, like, if you don't do this. Yeah, they put this, like, the iconic that you see on the cover, her little paper mache crown, it looks like, because they fold it out of this tiny little thing. And then, you go back to the school and you see Jamie and Mia at this dance, and she's wasted. She's, like, groping on him, grabbing him.
Yeah, grabbing his unmentionables. Everybody's staring at him.
They are.
Which, if I was Jamie, I'm like, this is fucking weird, dude. Like,
why is he letting this happen?
Yeah, like, it's bizarre. He likes it.
She looks way more out of it than he did.
Yeah, well, he was still there, yeah.
Yeah, she was gone. And she looks up and she realizes everyone is staring, and she just yells at them. And she's like, what the fuck are you looking at?
And that's when the principal or whoever walks up, and he's like, hey, do that somewhere else.
Yeah, he's like, you guys gotta go somewhere else. And then
Which is reasonable, and I would just kick them out automatically. But
call the parents, call someone. Yeah. And then you see Lola having her own year-end formal dance. Brad's standing in place, obviously, because he's stuck down with knives. And they're kind of like slow dancing. And you see her dad standing behind Brent on something, just fucking pouring glitter over them. And then the song is playing again, that I'm Not Pretty Enough.
Am I not pretty enough for you?
And then she's like talking to Brent, having this fucking moment. She's like, when I find my prince, this is the dance that I'm gonna dance at my wedding. And then she pauses and she looks
like,
at
you're
him.
Just a frog.
She looks at him in the face. She's like, it's not you. Yeah. You're just
another frog.
She takes one of the knives just to torture him.
And makes him stand up to dance, though, right?
Yeah, he's just kind of swaying in place.
Yeah.
And then she turns to her dad and she's like, Dad, dance with me. And so she goes over and starts having a slow dance with her dad. And then at the same time, Brent's still like, He's like, he remembers that he had that razor necklace in his pocket.
in his pocket.
He's trying to get it out.
It falls on the chair.
And then we have another uncomfortable scene of Eric and Lola dancing.
And she's like, Dad, I think I found that person. It's you.
He's the prince. That's why she can find
you're
no
my,
one like him.
You're my prince. And then he's creeped out a little bit. He's like, this isn't right. And this is the vibe. My mind's saying no, but my body's saying yes.
She's like, it's always been you, Daddy. Just you and me. You can tell he likes it. He starts getting a little like.
And then is my mind making this up?
No.
But they start making out.
They didn't make out.
Oh, I thought they made out.
They did not. You blocked that out, I think. They didn't block it out. They lean in a little bit, and they were like so close. I did turn away from the scene the first time.
It was disturbing. I did not like this.
No,
it made me feel weird. I'm like, oh, I don't like watching this. I know it's fake, but ew.
Yeah, no, they lean in, and then Brent sits on the chair loudly, so they turn and look at him, and they don't kiss.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank God.
And then you see Eric pulls out this fucking roadkill, the possum that he found on the road. And they're like, it's feeding time. And Lola has like a bucket in her hand.
And this caught me by surprise, this scene. I had no idea what is happening.
Yes.
Did you have any idea?
No, I did not know this was a thing. I thought all she did was torture Brent.
Because they opened the trap door that clearly was custom built.
He's a handyman.
That he had built, because there's no way this came with the house, because there's no exit.
Yeah, and then they open this latch and you just hear growling at first, and you're like, what the hell?
Well, you hear her screech like Bright Eyes has and Brent, and all of a sudden you hear him swarm the possum.
And Eric is like pouring water down, and Lola's like, you gotta sing for your supper. And then briefly goes back to Jamie and Mia. So they left the dance and they're back. They're back in his car, and she's like, just sex me.
Yeah, they're bumping and grinding, dude.
Getting down. And then you see an adult, and then the teacher or principal, whoever he is, he comes up and he knocks on the window and he's like, hey.
When I meant not here, I meant
not in school property. So
yeah.
They were still just like fucking right outside the school.
And this is where I thought, okay, this is where Jamie and Mia are going to go, and they're going to run into Brent and his family.
But no,
it doesn't happen.
So you see Eric, like he grabs like a toolbox from outside.
Which is kind of confusing. I thought this was the principal still grabbing the toolbox out of the car.
Yeah, because they don't show at first like a face.
It's a weird transition.
It's effective, because I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, and then Eric, he goes inside with his toolbox.
And then Lola is like fucking out of her mind excited, and she tells Brent that this is her first drilling. And you're like, wait a minute. And she pulls out an electric drill, a drill gun.
Fucking nuts.
And the dad's like instructing her. He's like, don't go too far. And
it's like he says, it's a little tricky. The thing is, the trick is not to go too far.
Yeah. And Eric is such a supportive dad.
Yeah. And then so Eric's holding fucking Brent tight, and she gets the drill closer. She's slowly going in. It's nerve wracking. And then all of a sudden she hits Brent, but doesn't have a firm grip on it. And then the bit slides off Brent's forehead. And that's when her dad gets a little angry. He's like, you hold it with both hands.
You want to use your body. And then she tries again. And then this time she goes in, and it was such a disturbing fucking scene, because she's drilling into his forehead.
She's smiling.
Sound. I think it was the sound that did it for me.
Well, the sound and the visual, like it doesn't show it, like it's showing from behind,
yeah,
but it's showing smoke come up as it would if you were like drilling in wood for a long time or a skull. And that's what's happening. Smoke's coming out. He's screaming, he's screeching, fucking, and all this he's still trying to cut loose. And she finally taps into it, and that's when you see his hands kind of get relaxed, and he's laying there.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it worked.
Yeah, and he, for a second there, his look just kind of, it looks like his soul left his body because he's just not there. And then you see, blood running down his face. And then at this time, you're wondering whether he's going to die or not because he has like some flashbacks of his dad and then Holly
so I didn't get the vibe he was gonna die. I thought these flashbacks were feeling him like not giving up, remembering all this. He's like, there's no way I'm going out. I gotta see these people again. I've been through too much. And
then I thought the worst part was over, but then you hear a fucking tea kettle whistle in the background. And I was dude. Like, oh, and then
this is where Lola's like, hey, you know this works, right?
Yeah, she's like, it boils your brain, it turns you into one of them.
And they got this clearly from Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh, yes.
And this is now, like, I already knew this is kind of what was happening with Bright Eyes, but this pretty much solidified what happened to Bright Eyes.
Yeah.
And she's been captured for at least 18 years, because Lola.
Yeah. Yeah, her dad hands her the kettle because it's her. She's doing the whole thing. She's supposed to be. Yeah. And he tells her to hold it. And then she goes in and it's heavy because it's full of water. So she like doesn't make it to his haze.
Burns her dad's arm.
Yeah, burns her dad.
And he's like, Jesus Christ, you have to have more of a tip.
And she tries again and she's like, Daddy.
Yeah, the hole's too small. You got to make the hole bigger.
Yeah. And then Eric was like, fine. Grabs fucking Brent by himself. One-handed and then just fucking
as you would to make a hole bigger, you take that drill and you just kind of work it around the hole to make it bigger. And motherfucker, dude, this was bad. And at this moment I was feeling something. I was like pissed. I'm like, dude, are they really fucking doing this to our hero, like our heroine? Like why are they doing this to this guy?
Yeah, you can hear the drill bit get stuck a little bit more smoke.
I didn't think he was gonna make it through this.
Yeah, and then you hear some of that more screeching come from Brent at this point. And then I don't know if it was the pain or fucking something grabbed them. But somehow he manages and he breaks free.
Well, yeah, when they go to pour the water again, he breaks free, right?
And then he grabs his razor blade that he has on him.
And the drill falls too.
And he slashes Eric in the face with the razor necklace. Yeah. And Eric
cries
back.
Like a little B-word, dude. He's like, oh my God, my face is cut. After all the torturing this motherfucker
has done for fucking years.
He gets one scratch on his face and he's just mortified, like he's devastated.
Yeah, and then Brett's like, although he just got lobotomized, he's quick. He grabs a drill gun, cuts the rope from his feet.
Yeah, and he dives. Yeah, he
pulls the fucking knives off.
Well, yeah, and then he dives for the drill and then and cuts the rope with the drill. And at this point, he rips the knife out of his foot, and then Eric's coming at him, and then he just fucking starts stabbing Eric in the neck. Yeah, and then tears the neck open, and Eric's bleeding out, and the trapdoor's still open, so you kind of know what's happening. And then they get close to the trapdoor and he pushes that motherfucker down there, which I'm like, fuck yeah, this is exciting. I was stoked. And then we see what's down there. That is more people they abducted and did this lobotomized to, because they're all fucked up. They don't eat, so they're, what do they call that when you're malnutrition? Malnourished. And they're all skinny, decrepit. They look like oversized golems.
Yeah.
And they swarm Eric and start eating his face off.
Ugh.
And you hear it just tearing its thing. And
they reminded me of those, I don't know if they were zombies or what, and I Am Legend.
Yeah, yeah.
Just because they're in the dark, just waiting to eat.
They just, not poor CGI though. They actually used makeup. But no, yeah. And Brent is just looking down there. He doesn't know what he's looking at. He's like, what the fuck is this? And he's distracted, which I think understandable.
Yeah,
but Lola is back there and she briefly got knocked out. But she got back up and now she grabs him by the feet. And man, she has some fucking strength because she picks him up backwards and then throws his feet into the hole.
But before she throws him in there, he gets a couple punches in there.
Yeah. Makes her fucking nose
bleed.
They
wrestle. Yeah, he punches her hard, and I was like, yes.
Yeah. But eventually, she gets there, and he's hanging on. And I'm like, oh, yeah, he has that fucking ultimate warrior, ninja warrior grip. and he's holding on for dear life so he doesn't fall in the hole. But then she grabs the hammer, starts hitting towards his hands, and then he has no choice but to let go. And he's in the corner down there watching them as they eat Eric's face off.
Yeah.
And he's freaked out. And this dumbass, she's freaked out and she's devastated. Her prince, her dad, is being killed. That she starts throwing everything down there. She throws a hammer. She throws a bucket. She throws the light down there and she screams. But that gives Brent some tools.
Yeah. And then she gives up and then she finally was like, fine.
She goes into her room or whatever. She fucks off.
She closes the door latch with Brent down there. Yeah. And then, she's just kind of out of it. She's just standing there in the living room for a minute. And then you go back to Jamie and Mia for a bit, and Jamie's dropping Mia home, and you see Paul is still home, the cop. He comes out.
Well, so Holly remembers that Brent said, it was Lola who asked me, and she's like, oh shit. And then, because the cop told Holly, hey, call me if you think of anything. And she does. She calls him, and he's laying there at his bedside. But before that, we see Jamie and Mia arrive back at the house, and she gets walked inside. She goes up to her room and she starts laying there, and her dad sees her, and that's when she's crying. She's like, oh, where is he or whatever?
Why haven't you found him yet?
Why haven't you found him yet? And then her dad's just looking at her, and then he goes and lays down, and that's when you see the picture of a little Timmy Valentine, a picture of her too, where she was normal. She wasn't super gothic or anything. It was a picture of just like normal teen, and Timmy right there. So obviously this family's been fucking destroyed. And that's when he gets a phone call from Holly, and Holly's like, hey, it was Lola Stone that made weird things, comments.
No, that she had invited him to the dance.
Yeah, the dance. And then he's like, okay, I'll go check that out.
To check, yeah.
And he does. He gets in the car and drives down there. Is there anything that happens in between that before he gets to the house?
No, yeah, just you see back at the house. So those things, after they kill Eric, they come from Brent.
This is what happens in between. So Brent knows this. So he quickly grabs that hammer and I think a knife, right? Or just the hammer.
And then you just see that you don't see it happening, but then you see him and they're laying there. So Jamie killed him.
Yeah, well, they're tweakers. You can tell. If you've ever had an encounter with a tweaker, they're super fragile and weak. So he attacks them. One comes at him, knocks it out immediately, and then two more come at him, and he kills two of them, and then there's one left, and then that's the one he kills right away too. So now he's just sitting there with a flashlight, and he just keeps clicking it on and off, trying to figure out his escape, what he's going to do.
He's also looking around, and you can see that this thing is like fully cemented. There's no way out.
The only way out is through where he fell through. So he looks at the bar, and because there's a bar in between too, and he's just looking at that. And at that point, the cop rolls up.
Well, before that, you see Lola walk into Bright Eye's room,
yeah.
And she slowly walks over, and Bright Eye is just laying on her bed.
No, she's just sitting at the bedside.
And then you see Lola like sitting on top of her and puts a pillow over her
down.
face, and she's like, "Good night, mommy."
Well, she lays her down, and that's when she's like, "Good night, mommy," and then fucking takes the pillow and smothers her.
And then after this, so Paul, the cop, he drives up to the house, and he looks through the window
and obviously sees what's happened. There's blood all over the place.
So he doesn't even fucking stop. He just breaks the glass on the actual on the door.
I'm sorry, if you've seen this, you'd be radioing for help. You're like, hey, I need backup at blah, blah, blah house. And you would wait. You would sit and wait. Well, I mean, you wouldn't if you think someone's in danger. So I get that. But he would have made a call first and foremost.
Yeah.
But anyways, he breaks the window, gets inside, and he's looking at the area, and then Brent hears someone in there, so he's throwing shit at the doorway.
To get attention.
Skulls, bones. He's throwing and starts screaming whatever he can. And Brent hears, Paul the cop hears it, and he's like, so he's still staying alert, but then he opens up that hatch and then sees him down there, but right behind him at the moment when they look at each other, Brent and Paul, Brent like points, and then he turns around and Lola has a butcher's knife and boom, hits Paul right in the face and kills him instantly, and he falls into the hole.
Oh, yeah.
Which I feel like that if there's one criticism about this movie is the cop that they kill immediately like that. Like, I felt like you put him too much into the story to be killed off like that.
Someone made a reference that this is a lot too, like I mentioned in Misery. Remember, the cop finds him in the cabin just to die immediately right after.
Yeah, but that character was like, this character we were invested with. He was doing the investigation. I felt like this was one they could have changed. This character, it didn't need to be like this because I didn't really feel anything. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, that was just a waste of a character. Like, you wasted my time with this character.
And then when he falls in, his gun falls out, and Brent's like, fuck yes. So he grabs the gun and just starts going.
And Lola does a Rambo move and just fucking dodges and jumps out of the way, and then the disco ball explodes.
Yeah, and then Lola's up there, and she finds Brent's, like, his razor necklace. And then she has a knife in her hand, and she's like, all right, asshole. And she's like, I'm gonna go to your mom's house and I'm gonna stab her like you did my dad, and then I'm gonna come for Holly and I'm gonna kill her too. Like,
I'm gonna stab her in the heart like you stabbed me in my heart.
Yeah, essentially everyone that he loves, she's gonna go and get revenge on them.
Right. And he's like, no.
And you can see, this is where you see Lola just being completely unhinged. She's walking in this field.
And it's daytime now. Like, all night has happened. And yeah, she starts singing that song again.
And then you see Brent, and he's looking around. How the hell is he getting out of this hole? Because at this time, the door, they did leave that trapdoor open. And he sees a pile of bones, and he gets the idea. And then you see Lola, she's singing to this song, and she has her photo album with her. She has all the evidence in the world of everything her and her dad have been doing. And at this point, she's singing this song. You don't just hear her playing, but she's singing it. Am I not pretty enough for you?
What's the end verse?
That's all I remember. And then you see a car approaching from far away on the road. And it's Holly. Holly's also going to Lola's house.
Yeah, because she hasn't heard anything from the cop.
Yeah. And then Holly's driving towards, and then Lola I don't know, this scene, does she get out of the road and then just throws the photo book at the car to distract her?
Yeah, she gets out of the road, and then Holly doesn't see it, but she throws her photo book or scrapbook at the car, and then the papers go flying. Holly stops and kind of sees all the papers floating down slowly, and then Lola opens the door and starts coming after Holly with the knife.
And then Holly recognizes, because Lola at this point is wearing that necklace with the razor blade, and she recognizes that it's Brent's.
Yeah.
So it kind of clicked for her, like, oh shit, stuff's happening.
Yeah. So then they have a struggle in the car, but Holly's able to open her door and slip out. Mm-hmm. But Lola's still on top of her, just trying to hit her with the knife, just stabbing, but she's missing. And then this is where Brent used the bodies piled up to get out of the hole, and he gets in the cop car, and he's going fucking as fast as he can.
Oh, yeah.
And then Holly gets away, and she starts running, but then
Lola's running after
full
her.
circle. It goes full circle with Brent, where he sees his girlfriend, Holly, and swerves out of the way. But this time, he ain't hitting no fucking tree. He hits Lola at this point and lays her out.
Yeah, and he stops, and then Holly, like, she's,
and he's relaxed though. He's like, it's all over. It's done.
Holly gets in the car, seeing a cop car, and then she realizes it's Brent.
Yeah, she's freaked out at first.
She's breaking down emotionally, just seeing how, like, he has a freaking hole in his forehead. And then
all the damage he's been through, he looks all fucked up.
And then on the road, you see what I thought was like the most fucking epic scene is Lola with her wrist completely broken, like her bones are sticking out.
Exposed.
She's sprawling. It did remind me of Chucky, just like completely deranged, fucking messed
focused,
up.
nothing else. She has tunnel vision. She is just focusing, getting to them, crawling, and her bones are all out. She's muttering to herself.
She can't walk, but she's crawling. She's not fucking stopping. Nothing's stopping her.
And then this is the coolest part. I thought this was satisfying because Brent sees it in the rearview mirror, and he just slowly starts backing up.
He puts the car in reverse. Yeah. And
he does it slowly, though, slow enough, but just fast enough. And it shows it, and it's very slow doing it, but then it's satisfying because then it hits her. And then it's a big boom. Like she gets hit, and then she's done for. And they get out of there.
They get out of there.
And they drive, and then he gets with his mom, and he doesn't go and seek medical attention. He goes and sees his mom first.
He gets a Band-Aid and then he's good.
And then he hugs his mom and all is well in the world. And that's the movie.
That's the movie.
So the pacing of this movie, I thought the pacing was awesome. Didn't you?
Yeah, it went pretty good. It was like beat per beat, like pretty fast on. There was no
2-hour movie, maybe a little less.
It was 84 minutes.
Oh shit, yeah. 1:20. I mean, fuck, that's it. But every minute of it was good.
The first time watching it, like I said, at first I wasn't quite sure what was going on with Jamie and Mia.
Yeah, I thought it was a waste.
Are they just filling time right now? Like, what is going on with this too? But no, it was good. The only, problem I had with, like you were saying, they were just the comparison of the trauma, like Brent's going through the thick of it and then seeing on the other side someone who already went through and missing a family member was Mia.
Right.
The only thing that I saw fucked up after this was like Jamie. Holy crap, kid, you little piece of poop. He fully took advantage of the situation that Mia was like so depressed and just so out of it. Like, went along with her getting completely wasted. She wanted to have sex and he's like, yeah, we're going to have sex. We're going to do whatever you want.
Well, he's a teenager.
Still, that's garbage move, man.
They're teenagers. I wouldn't look too much into that. But so I did research on why was Lola doing this? And I did find a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So she gets, and some of them are obvious, but I got rejection and revenge. She had a personal vendetta by torturing Brent. She had psychological issues, obviously growing up. Desire for attention and validation was a huge part of that. Past traumas and patterns. Twisted fantasies. So the conclusion I got are pretty much complex and multifaceted, driven by rejection, a need for control, psychological issues, and a desire for validation and attention. Her actions are a manifestation of deep-seated emotional and psychological problems, making her a deeply disturbing and compelling antagonist.
Okay.
Which makes her a fucking badass character, man. Like, this is one of the greatest villains, I think, in my opinion. She's really awesome.
Richard coming in hot today, the king of horror, and you're like, oh.
I thought she's pretty good.
I thought she was too. I just thought you were going to be more critical of her.
No, I thought it was great. I liked the actress. She was great at it.
She was good.
Now that we talked about it thoroughly and extensively, first, what was your favorite kill?
My favorite.
Was it zombie 1, 2, or 3? Was it Paul?
I think my favorite kill was the dad.
Was the dad?
Yes, because
Paul getting hit in the face.
No, Eric.
Oh,
dad.
yeah.
Because
that was satisfying.
He started this, right? Because Lola was a kid at one point. This was her first drill. And he was a sick
pervert.
And he's been doing this, so it was just satisfying to see that.
Well, clearly he did this in the past to Bright Eyes. So this started before Lola.
Bright Eyes, and then now to this people that he had on this latch door thing, and it was just satisfying to see that Brent,
going full circle
took it out on him, dumped them, and then these creatures, things that he created now ended it.
Yeah, being able to
so it was a satisfying death.
Yeah, I would say that too. It would go in between Bright Eyes and Eric.
Bright Eyes? You like her death?
Yeah, I love that. Just Like,
At least she got
hey,
to
put her out of her misery, man. She was fucking just sitting there like she was released. That
for
was great.
years.
And then obviously it was great seeing Lola get fucked up. That was awesome.
One thing I saw is regarding Lola and her being a psychotic antagonist. She only kills 2 people in the entire movie.
Yeah.
Her mom, Bright Eyes, and the police sergeant.
Paul. So yeah. What out of 30?
So technically she's not a serial killer. Her dad is.
Yeah, out of 5, what do you rate this? And no, they're both serial killers because you got to remember she did this every year since she was at least 4.
But he killed him.
Since she was at least 4, though. She was a part of it. I don't understand what you don't get about that. But
Whoa, are you fighting with me right now?
Well,
take another sip of water.
No.
I think you're hot.
Anyways, what out of 5, what do you rate this? Jesus. It's hot, okay?
I know it's hot. 4.
4 out of 5?
Mm-hmm. Or 4.5. Oh, 4.
Whoa, what is it? 4.5 or 4?
I don't know. I'm thinking.
You're thinking?
It's a 4.
Give it a 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, I give it a 4 too. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Liked it, you enjoyed it.
This is one of the modern ones that I enjoy. Sometimes it's hard to entertain me, these modern ones, but this one got me.
It was good.
I give Vienna credit. Good job. It was a fluke.
It was a fluke.
But, well, without further ado, I will hand off the mic to Vienna, and her and Angeles can discuss the reviews, and we'll go from there.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right. Here's Vienna.
Hello, Vienna. They're struggling.
I can't reach that far, Richard. Hi.
How are you today?
Good.
Good. How was your week?
Good. This is really tall.
Oh, there you go. Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah. This was your first time watching the movie too?
Yeah.
Where did you hear of this movie from?
I was just looking through like horror movies and I was like, oh, this one looks interesting.
What caught your attention about it? Was there anything specific?
Just the cover and I guess the like plot, the storyline.
Okay. Do you have a favorite kill?
Oh, maybe Eric, the dad.
The dad too?
Yeah.
Was there something in specific about Eric that you like about his death?
He was just an asshole, so.
Okay, this was your first time movie. How do you feel about it? Did you like it or not?
Yeah, I liked it for what it was.
For what it was?
Yeah.
Do you think it was the best piece of cinema?
No.
No? Okay, since you watched it in full twice, you watched it both times in its entirety, right?
Yeah.
What would you rate it?
I would say like a 3.5.
Dang, really?
Yeah.
You're harsh.
What?
3.5?
3.5.
Can't entertain this girl.
You don't think that Lola was the greatest villain of ever, as Richard said?
No.
No? Who do you think is a better villain than Lola?
I don't know.
Not her?
Humanity. No, I'm just kidding.
Humanity?
No, I'm
Oh, shit, we're
joking.
getting dipped today.
I'm kidding.
Okay. Do you have anything to say to Richard today? You guys always jump on here and bicker.
I don't know.
You don't know.
No.
Do you still remember all the lyrics? Yeah, I know you remember way more of the lyrics.
I know like almost the whole song, but
You
I don't
do?
want to sing it.
Have you listened to it entirely?
No. No.
No. I only know the first line. Did you find any juicy reviews?
Yeah. I found quite a few.
Oh, really? People have watched it?
Yeah, surprisingly.
Nice.
Lauren gave it 3.5 and said, well, that was quite a film. Holy hell. This is another movie that I really enjoyed, but I don't think I'll ever watch it again.
Oh, shit.
It was such a heavy situation, but it had great performances and thankfully had a silver lining ending.
Nice.
And then CJ gave it half a star.
Half a star?
Yeah, and said, I tried to watch this in 2009 and bailed out after about 30 minutes of increasing irritation. Given how many people rave about it and say it's worth sticking with, I thought maybe I'd made a mistake. Maybe it was actually watchable. It's not. It's really not. I stuck all the way to the end this time, and it went from one of the many films I disliked to a film I actively, violently hated.
Dang, that's harsh. I think, what's his name?
CJ.
CJ needs to give it another watch and rethink his review.
He needs to watch it with you guys.
It's a snatch.
Oh.
The first time I was very confused about some of it, but second time I was like, oh, snap.
Yeah. Someone said, I can't fix her. 3.5 stars and a heart.
I think she's gone. She's been gone when Bright Eyes went out. Yeah.
When her bright eyes went out.
Hers went out too.
Yeah.
The light of her soul.
Yeah. Someone said, totally implausible. An iPod would not stay charged that long. 3.5 stars and a heart.
The iPod.
And then someone else said, this wasn't even fiction. The buses just be like that. 4 stars and a heart.
The buses?
I don't know.
I'm like, were there buses in this movie? I don't think that there were buses.
I don't know.
Maybe it's slang for something. Google it, Richard.
Someone said, oh man, this was disappointing and mainly boring.
What?
2 stars.
It is not.
Very tame on the torture, actually. 2.5 stars and a heart. Who are we to judge if Lola's love language is torture and involves a drill? 3.5 stars and a heart.
Exactly. Everybody has a different love language.
Yeah.
Hers is fucking torture.
What's yours?
My love torture is sweet and generosity and understanding.
And Richard's is torturing you.
Yes.
Just kidding.
Kidding.
Wow. Someone else said, has anyone checked in with the Australians lately?
For real? This was fucking crazy. Considering there was no crazy looking dangerous animals involved.
Yeah. Y'all call this a date? 3 stars. Driller killer for girls. 2 stars. Lazy torture porn that could have been so much more. 2 stars.
There was a little bit of horror porn. Is that what you guys call it?
Torture porn.
Torture porn?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was uncomfortable.
Sean
to see.
Sean Byrne's most popular and terrible film. 0.5 star.
0.5 star?
Yeah. I knew this was a family of psychopaths when I saw them drinking straight milk. 4 stars.
Did Richard write that?
No, but I agree.
I wrote it.
You guys are just weird. It's a cultural thing.
I don't know. It's just, I don't like milk.
I know you don't.
It tastes weird, kind of.
It's delicious.
My autism, like Richard would say.
Doesn't allow you guys to drink fucking milk.
And my lactose intolerance.
That's why you drink oat milk.
Yeah.
There's so many options. Soy milk.
I had a really rough day and needed something to cheer me up. 5 stars and a heart.
Dang.
Yeah.
Oh. So I have a question. Do you think if Brent had said a yes to going to the dance with her, it would have had a different outcome, or she would have done it regardless?
No, I think she would have done it regardless.
She would have been like,
yeah, she probably would have like taken him back.
She wouldn't have made it to the dance.
No, I don't think so.
That's crazy.
Also, why is she trying to pick up on like people's boyfriends?
She a little huzzy.
Oh,
is that bad? Is that a bad word?
I don't know. Although I gave it a 3.5 because I don't know. I kind of expected like a little more from the reviews. They were like, "This is really disturbing." Da 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 da. So I thought it was gonna be like super gory, and then it wasn't. Super duper gory.
You know what happened? I think we broke you.
Me?
Yes, we've allowed you to watch, like, because you like scary movies since you were young. What was your first, like, favorite horror movie that you watched over and over?
Van Helsing.
Van Helsing, when you were 3 years old.
Well, I just like body gore, so that's my type of...
That's what grinds your gears?
I guess.
That's what makes you uncomfortable? I know it freaking makes Richard jump out of his skin, body horror.
That's why I like the Terrifier movies, because they're super, like, gross.
Do they scare you, though, or do you just, like, watch them?
No, I just watch them.
Jesus. I broke my kid. Someone's gonna call CPS on me.
It's okay.
Blink twice to tell them that you're okay? Was that 2 or 3 times?
2.
Yeah, I feel like since you were young and you used to watch like Scooby-Doo and Courage the Cowardly Dog.
That scared
the crap
you
out of me. And then I remember we used to watch these cartoons, Ruby Gloom.
That wasn't even Monster High.
So it's in your nature, it's in your background. You've always been into the gore and a little bit of the dark and you're into the dark themes.
We're
so
bringing up my lore
feel
right
like
now.
That's why now, like you watch movies and you're like, they're okay, and I'm like, oh my god, what gets to you?
And then I think just like the filler with like the police officer and the kid.
Yeah,
it was kind of like, why was that needed?
Yeah.
You haven't lived that.
Huh?
You haven't lived up to that. But they can't hear.
Keep talking.
Talking to the mic.
Richard's mumbling on the background.
He sounds like the tweakers in the basement.
Oh my god. He's gonna kick us out. No. Yeah, like you were saying, it got really good reviews. Like,
yeah.
It was IMDb gave it a 6.6 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 98%.
They're taking us out.
And Google users, 85%.
This is like the music technicians at the knitting factory.
You're done. We got a timeline. Wrap it up. That's midnight.
I'm leaving.
Oh, thanks, Yana.
Yeah.
Jesus, missing the talent here, like totally.
I know Richard can't be out of the spotlight for a minute. Welcome back, Ricardo.
Jesus, thank God. I was trying to get back here.
So you wanted a break. You were venting your butt.
Oh my God. Yeah, your child's desensitized.
She's okay though.
So
I think
before you're trying to move on, which thank you guys. That was a good dynamic, you two. It was great.
Are you satisfied?
What was now we can get into the critics. We have kind of a way we steer the ship. And you were trying to go rogue. What the hell's going on with you?
Nothing. You said talk.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Great reviews, by the way. I love it.
Right? Yeah.
Thank you, Glothar. Our gothic princess, Glothar.
I thought it was within the same realm. We're talking about reviews, and I just kept on rambling.
Okay. So, yeah, continue. What were you saying about the critics? I didn't have my headphones on. What?
You can hear me. Rotten Tomatoes, 98%. It's almost a perfect score. IMDb, 6.6. Movie Insider, 3.1 out of 5. So kind of average. And then Google users, 85% on average.
Yeah. Wait, so IMDb had a 6.6 and a Metacritic 73 out of 100.
Okay.
So yeah, the detailed feedback that I got was the positive points on this was originality, performances, specifically Robin McLeavy's portrayal of Lola, atmosphere was good, and then the direction of the movie. The negatives that I seen for this movie were graphic content. Some viewers and critics found the film's violence and torture scenes to be excessively graphic, which could be off-putting for those not accustomed to the extreme horror.
It's horror.
If you're not Vienna, it was pretty extreme.
It was extreme, but I don't feel like that's a con.
And then niche appeal. While the film has a strong following among horror enthusiasts, its intense content and disturbing themes might limit its appeal to a broader audience, which I can see because when they add that incest stuff, even me and you were a little like cringe. We're like, oh, and we were like, Vienna, what the hell are we watching here? Like, I thought it was going to take a turn that I was not about to watch.
Thankfully it didn't.
Yes. Thank God they just subtly hit the tones. Had the movie went further and it didn't kill off Eric like it did, it would have had to go there.
You know what? I mean, yes. And then I think that he played it off by by the leaning in, but not fully doing a full make. I think it messes with you.
Oh, yeah.
And it worked out in a way.
It pulls you cringe, and then it gives you that, oh, they didn't really do it.
Thank goodness, yeah. And instead they keep on torturing Brent. But, I mean, overall, I think it was good. I mean, I know that you and I, we see a lot of reviews from other horror content creators, and there's some that this would definitely be up their alley because they like more of the extreme, whereas someone...
Well, so this is This is right up my alley. I enjoyed this.
Where someone who doesn't watch a ton of horror, this might be very uncomfortable.
It would be hard. It would be a
disturbing.
hard watch. Yeah. Some of our friends don't like horror. This would not be one you would introduce them to horror. Like they're more of the Friday the 13th Part 7 New Blood type of people.
Critters.
You know? Yeah, critters. Alvin and the Chipmunks mean Frankenstein kind of people.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
You mentioned also that to you, Lola's death was satisfying.
Yeah.
If they hadn't killed her off, and they did kill her off, but would you have liked to see a sequel to this or not?
No. So horror movies and sequels are hard for me. It's a love and hate for me. Do I like Friday the 13th, Halloween's, the Nightmare on Elm Streets, Jeepers Creepers? Yes, they're fun, but man, it changes. This has an effect on me. The second one, it's more of now they got to tackle that at a different angle. It's not shock anymore. Now it's for fun, and you got to kind of figure out that angle of it. So I don't know if you could, with this one, take it to that level. Yeah. I think it's a standalone and it holds its own. Now you can do an offshoot, similar story, but I just don't think you could sequel it off. I don't know how you would.
I don't know either. I just really like her as a villain.
Oh, so I wish she could definitely play something else. Oh yeah,
this character just be fully deranged and see what else she would have done.
I could see her now as she could play a psycho mom now.
Oh,
that would be a good one. Or again, a psycho girlfriend. Yeah, just get pigeonholed into that role as a psycho.
Yeah,
I think that would be great. I'd watch it again.
You'll watch it again,
but as a sequel, no.
Okay.
Not my thing.
Okay.
Anyways, hey, our winner of our last contest, we are in the works of sending it. We had a bit of a snafu this week, but we're going to send it. We're going to send it early next week, so be on the lookout. Who was the winner?
Jen Bonrod, I think. I have her name written down.
Jen Bonrod?
I think so.
So it's coming. I promise. It's coming.
Richard's just been lazy.
No, we're a team. We do this together.
Oh, my Lord. We've just been really busy. It's gotten hectic.
It has. So that one, we just haven't been able to make it to the USPS, but we'll get it there.
Plus, the offices are so far away here in town, and they close early.
You live in the middle of nowhere.
No, I mean, even
There's one literally less than a mile from my house.
Which one?
Over on Crestline.
Oh, by the time that I get off, I see that they close at 5 or 6.
No, that's the hard part, is trying to sync it up with work. That's the hard part, getting out there. But we'll get it through. Also, I do want to mention we're at 3,000 plus downloads. Man, we are killing it. We're off to a hot start. Let's keep this momentum going. Fan support. We love that everybody's listening. I want to shout out Sarah. She's our friend. She just found out we had a podcast, and she has been nonstop just listening and supporting it, which is great. She reached out. Really appreciate you. That was awesome.
And family just found out too.
Family?
My cousin, Daisy, in Arizona. Shout out, Daisy.
Oh, yeah.
And Javier, thank you for listening. You guys are awesome.
Holla,
and supporting.
holla.
Thanks for listening to us BS.
Yeah, bullshit. Who would have thought listening to us two rambling about movies?
I know
my family are like, oh my God, they don't care.
Get a hobby, Richard.
Yeah, this is a hobby, motherfucker. I like it. It lets my inner nerdum out, dude. I can be myself. I like it
a lot.
Where I'm very reserved in life, I feel like I can kind of be outspoken and myself freely.
This is your bubble.
Yeah, I think for you too, because you can kind of enjoy it. As we've done this, I've seen you kind of open up a little bit more, get relaxed.
No way. No,
you don't feel that way?
Yeah.
Even Vienna's Review Corner, it's getting better and better. She's saying more than 2 words at a time. Yep. That's you, Glothar. I see you. That is a good question. What are we watching next week?
I don't know. Richard made the lineup for us.
I'm deciding. I don't know. We might go Alien, something from outer space. I'm thinking maybe Alien, maybe Predator.
You ruined that
maybe
movie.
The Stuff. Have you ever seen The Stuff? It's a 1980s film.
Can I just say you ruined fucking life for me yesterday?
Life. Oh, with Ryan Reynolds, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yes, I wasn't done. I had like 17 minutes left, and I was like, I watched this yesterday, and you didn't let me finish that I wasn't done. And Richard was like, here's the ending, drop. And I was like, no, it's not. And I put it back on, and I was like, this a-hole.
Did I explain it perfectly?
You gave me the total ending.
I seen that movie once briefly. I wasn't even sitting down watching it fully. Like I was doing like chores around the house.
You told me the wrong country, but like everything you said, I was like,
it was in Mexico, wasn't it?
No, it was in Vietnam. But I was like,
oh.
No, he was right.
And that's the end of the world.
Yeah, so I don't like movies getting spoiled the first time I watch them.
But we do this for a living now.
And well, these are movies, most of them I've seen already, but I don't know the ending.
Most that you've seen, because a lot of these you haven't seen yet.
Well, no, but we watched them together, and you didn't give me the ending.
Oh.
But this one, you were just like, oh,
I was like an asshole. I spoiled it.
Yeah, and you're like, good night. And I was like, oh.
It was so satisfying.
Not for me.
Did you like the movie, though? Wife?
Yeah, it was good.
I thought it was pretty good, too.
The ending was nuts. But yeah, you were like, here's the end. Good night.
Yeah, even Glothar thought the monster was cute.
He is cute. He's like a mix of a Demogorgon and what's the other thing you said?
Venom.
Yeah. It's like a floating, killing jellyfish.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Anyways, I guess we can tie it up. We're 2 hours and 42 minutes in.
Oh.
Where's the time go?
You talk.
You talk.
You're like, well, you can't do reviews without me. You kicked Dan out of the chair.
Well, dude, we have a system, man. We got to get a third mic set up, man. Hopefully in our new house, we'll have a nice little studio set up.
Mm-hmm. Wellesley can participate.
Oh, Wellesley the cat. We got to get her more on the gram, dude.
We need to show a picture of her and her
our grandchild
positions.
Oh my God.
She's a wild cat.
We got to do it. Well, I guess without further ado, hasta la gosi. Ciao, ciao.
Thanks for listening to Horror Cinema Obsession. We hope you had as much fun as we did. If so, help spread the word by leaving a rating and review wherever you listen to podcasts. And join us next time for another episode of Horror Cinema Obsession.